Yes, the rumors are true. No, I'm not going to stall it for another month, 2 weeks, whatever. Welcome to, as it says so vividly and vibrantly on that graphic there, the global premiere of Open Mic Night here on the Jeff Meacham Network, as well as the Simple Man, Noah Foster's channel, as well as our buddy James's channel at J Hibbert Side 95. And yes, the gang is indeed all here. I am, of course, West Coast Professor Jeff Meacham. Noah, okay, there you go. Noah's here. James here. There we go. Okay, I'm trying to get my shit together here. So this whole thing just kind of pollinated, I guess is the best way to put it, out of was it the Turning Point?
It was the Turning Point pay-per-view. Yeah,
it was
we were
Turning
just
Point where we went into
because we just went off. Yeah,
went off on everything.
Yeah, it turned into No DQ After Dark, Jeff Meacham Network uncensored version. It was bananas. We just and we went off the air. Like, there's something here, and unfortunately, holidays became a thing.
I would say
town became a thing, so it was bonkers. So
I would say this actually started, if you guys remember the NXT review we did like ages ago on my channel. That's where it really started. Right. That's when I realized we had something. It was just like, dude, there's something here. Like,
very true, very true.
We just kind of like bounced off each other pretty well. So I was like, yeah, let's do this shit.
So it's really one of those. There literally is no format. I mean, my tablet is literally across the room on my bookshelf where I can't reach. Even if I was Stretch Armstrong, I'd have to really have like 80s ability Stretch Armstrong and get over there. So just whatever comes up in our brain, whatever pops in. JD Ultra's so excited to be here. He commented twice. So let's just throw that out there right now. JD. He's happy to be here. Matt is always here on my shows. Matt, I appreciate it. Matt, good to see you. And Report Card Radio, who usually pops in on the Talk Wrestling streams, is here. So thank you, Report Card. We appreciate you being here as well. We were James and I were bouncing each other off there, waiting for Noah to come in, hoping to God he didn't fall asleep. Like, oh God, where is he? James and I were talking about what James has been talking about on Twitter. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of carry in there more people are coming in. Yay, Josh is here and JJ's here. Everybody's here. Cool. Is there a way I can make that not do that? But I'll fix it later. So again, Noah even mentioned to James earlier on their other show that it's kind of an awkward day to bring this up, but we'll go ahead and do it anyway. So it turns out that Big Swole's whole little butthurt status rant was not about lack of diversity at all. It was about the fact that she was not crowned the first TBS champion that Jade Cargill was going to be, and the fact that she spoiled it back in whatever it was, October. So for those who don't know, I didn't even. This is literally the timeline of events. I was doing voice memos because. Oh, what the hell? Easy there, Bobby Lee.
Woo! I was doing voice memos. I'm
going to quench that throat right there.
Yeah, I just had.
It's the Ross Pooper on Friends. That's right.
That's true. This is my third show, guys. Bear with me here.
Right on, I love it.
So I was doing like voice memos. I think it was ages ago where I did these voice memos, and I kind of was confused because it really infuriated me that this is before I knew what ultimately was the absolute unmitigated facts, right?
Right.
Where was the lack of diversity in AEW? Noah and I, along with King A-Train, who's also black, we all watch the same product. We all watch AEW weekly. Like, There's no doubt about it that they have so much diversity. It's not even funny. Like, that is the most diverse group of wrestlers that I think no one I've ever seen in our lifetime. It is that great, and not just from a race point of view, but also from a transgender point of view, from a character point of view. This is some of the greatest, just different type of people, and they also have a unity. And I'm always a firm believer that if you cannot have unity if you are not diverse in yourself, like if you're not different, you can't have unity. I just how I've always thought, right? And I pointed out, like, Jesus Christ, here goes my voice. Of
Seriously,
course,
man.
right when we
Free
go
shows
here.
today, guys.
Water
Free
or
shows. Free
seltzer.
shows, guys. Just take it
You
easy.
need water, seltzer,
There
or
we go.
something. And God bless you. But,
Yeah, I'm probably gonna get water.
Well, let
But,
me go ahead and try and fill in a little bit for you while you continue the timeline here. When it comes to the subject of equality, diversity, they're very sensitive subjects that someone can take out of context. James, how do I always introduce you? You're different. You're also autistic. I have a best friend that's autistic. I come from a very mixed family guideline, international roots too. But when you try and look at this concept of diversity and how it's showcased or being portrayed, or even presents it to a degree that feels like we're trying to really show that we are equal opportunity here.
Right.
I don't think there really is any case where AEW has not shown that to a degree. As Big Swole, at first, it seemed like she was presenting according to her little tirade. But as you basically brought forward, it more so came about self-entitlement, representation. This is how I should be looked at versus other people in this company,
And that,
despite their makeup or background.
this is what brings up the real issue here. And this is why this was never a race issue, according to Big Swole and what she would have you believe. I'm sorry. It is so obvious, and I have the proof in the pudding in the video I posted on YouTube. And literally, I just did the video itself just because I'm like, hey, I got Femoral 9 now. I wanted to test out the effects. That's literally the only reason I made the video on this.
For whatever reason.
Literally, that was the reason. So I made the video, and here was the tweet that she said on October. I think it was October 14th. Okay. Now keep in mind, the TBS title was in the plans months ago. So she knew Jade was winning this. She spoiled the winner on Twitter with this tweet, saying specifically, and I quote, "Should be the one y'all still owe, but we all know it'll be Jade," with this emoji face. I'll do my best impression.
Oh, brother. Face.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. Like, oh,
Yeah.
great.
Really?
Dude,
Yeah.
it was
Really
so
face. Yeah.
fucking petty,
It might as well be the Miz emoji. Really?
Bro,
Really?
it was
Really?
That's it.
It was so petty. It was and the funny thing is, like, people are, and I think a few people even that said, like, I'm pretty sure Jade apologized, and I'm like, nah. Even if she did, even if they had a good exchange, it was Jade literally having to save face. It was clear as day that's what she was doing. Like that, even if she was happy for her, which wasn't the case, by the way, because I don't buy that. I wasn't born yesterday. I've had enough of that happen to me in my lifetime. I'm sure all of us have at some point had that kind of friend. You don't just go and say that and spoil an entire finish of an entire tournament that hasn't even begun to air yet. Like, keep that in mind. This was for the promo. She quote tweeted AEW's promo on the TBS title. So, like, that makes this even doubly worse. So it was a spiteful tweet to AEW and also to Jane Cargill, who then had to try to make peace and save face.
Right. Just ridiculous.
Unreal.
And again, you know, I love the fact that we have diversity here. Even, I mean, you know, hand to God, I didn't even know James was autistic. So that's
Full-blown
good.
autism,
Yeah, we have we have people in the circle that my own personal circle that has either on the spectrum or full blown like you, and then we've got Noah over here who, as he said, has diversity in his family, and he's dressed like the whitest guy in the room, Orange Cassidy, who is pale as a ghost. You know, hey,
yeah.
Orange Cassidy. You know, hey,
I don't even know what a tan is, and I promise you, I will never spray tan even if someone paid me.
No, and after seeing Orange Cassidy on the cruise, he doesn't need a spray tan. He just gets so red from drinking, is what happens to him. Hey,
I bet they weren't orange mimosas either. By the way, I was born developmentally delayed.
Hey,
so
we
we
cannot confirm nor deny, my friend.
Jeff on the cruise. Did you not hear the part about me drinking? What I cannot confirm or deny. No.
Oh no, we know you were drinking. We just didn't know if it was mimosa.
No, but it's funny. They actually had so long story thread short later, which is for me a true achievement. So in addition to if you bought ahead, you paid for your drinks ahead of time, you get, it's basically an open bar type situation. But because it's AEW, because it's wrestling, because it's a cruise, there's this little thing about this wide and about this tall, I should say, on the thing.
True. Yep.
Exclusive drinks where it's like Orange Cassidy themed or Elite themed or whatever.
Yeah, I did hear. Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
I had at least one of every one. The Orange Cassidy one was the least potent, and I'll leave it at that.
Wow,
makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense actually.
But yeah,
Julius, for all we know.
Yeah, I never craved water more when I got on that plane Monday to go home because I hadn't had water since Thursday. It was beautiful.
Good grief.
Yeah. So
you didn't have water on the cruise? What the hell?
Well, okay, no, I take that back. I did have spring water on Sunday going into the last night, which was the last Fozzy show, the last AEW little mini event at the pool deck, and then Paradise Kitty's last show, because the person that was hanging with Will Ospreay, her name is Sarah. She's my friend on Facebook now. I love her to pieces. She recognized the fact that I was drifting to Neverland, and she gave me a bottle of spring water. Saved my damn life. And to God, I'm not kidding. I think there was enough alcohol in my blood content to, it was bad. Anyway, so JJ has decided to join the party, as I invite all you to, by the way. If you see this link, feel free to click it. Come on in and
JJ,
join the shenanigans.
You, my friend? Good to see
What
you.
is up? What is up,
What's
Jim?
up, brother?
Monday night, and you know what that means. We're here to talk all
well,
things.
tonight at least. Yeah,
Yeah. Well,
tonight
yeah,
at least.
All things, anything.
Well,
yes,
who's to say this won't be a Monday night thing? This is what Raw probably wish they could have been.
It's Monday night, and it's another Monday night that I didn't watch wrestling, so
Same. I'm with you on that one.
I watched AW Dark Elevation because I had Kinsey Page on there. Shouts the NWA, and I thought she had a pretty good showing against Ruby Soho. Wouldn't mind seeing that being revisited, but I digress. Speaking of which, JJ, what's going on lately with you? I know someone earlier had a comment about a word I know nothing about, so maybe you can shed some light on this. The Rams and sports. How's sports treating you?
I am not a football guy. I am the last football guy in the world. Jeff knows, like, I am a hockey or nothing.
I love the way Noah does it. Like, I don't know anything. That's sports treating you. I know nothing about this.
You know,
I don't. I'm a wrestling fan. I tell you, I only watch pro wrestling.
It was a hell of a setup, and if I was Stat Boy, that would have been the perfect lob for a home run. But I am the least sports inclined person probably in the circle. I mean, like I said, it's hockey or nothing, and the Kings had a shitty game today. But
I can't hear you guys. Give me a second. I gotta read that stupid microphone.
Well, Jeff. Oh,
he got to fix his microphone, so it's all good. We're still live. We're live, folks. All right, there is no retake here. So, Josh, congrats to you. I'm in a different party as I only watch professional wrestling. That's the only sport that exists in my life. So, that being said,
what was your question? You obviously came in with a question idea, right?
Yeah.
No, I just wanted to get in on the party,
Fair enough.
Okay, there we go.
Okay. So, in case anyone's wondering, still straight edge, even though I turned 30 in less than a month.
I've been itching for this show to get on, and I've been pestering Jeff,
you're fine.
When is this going to happen? Because I wanted to be part of this. So that's the whole reason why I'm here.
Between the lack of Dad's episodes since Christmas Eve and the lack of this episode, JJ has just been mad at me for reasons. So it is what it is. However, if you watched the Jeff Meacham show earlier, the Jim Carrey show will go up as scheduled on the 21st. It is edited.
Mm-hmm.
The Marvel show, which was scheduled for July last year and then rescheduled for New Year's Eve, is going to go up the day after the Royal Rumble as of now. The show we had recorded for January 7th, which was the top 10 non-Wrestlemania celebrity moments, due to JJ's work outside of this little box commitments, he is unable to sit down and actually redigest No Way Out content. So we're going to move No Way Out matches top 10 to next year, and we're going to move the celebrity moments to our wrestling show for February. The February non-wrestling show, which is top 10, God help me, romantic comedies / chick flicks, which is what JJ does on his channel every February because he's a romantic at heart. Aw.
It's February. It's Valentine's Day. I do half the month chick
Good-hearted
flicks,
gentlemen.
and I do half the month like Black History Month. So
that holiday has no effect on me because, again, story of my life. I'm simple and single, and I prefer it that way.
Cheers to you, brother. Cheers to you, brother. But to go off, what last thing I heard you say was, yes, if that had been a Snapboy comment, it would have been Johnny Carson right out of the thing here. I'm the only person that actually watches professional football, I think, in this room at this point. And honestly,
I've watched some.
Okay, and honestly, it's one of those. I watch the Cowboys. If something else is on and it affects the Cowboys, then I'll watch it.
Right.
But
Respect
before the record,
to my best friend, shout out to Ross the Boss. He and his entire family are Dallas Cowboy fans.
So as far as the Jeff Meacham Network is concerned, Greg's done for the year. I'm done for the year. I mean,
I'm done for the year.
Yeah, I am a Rams. Well, the Patriots were out since Belichick got hired, that piece of dog shit. But anyway, damn, sorry. No filter on Belichick. 0. Not a fan. But I'm glad that Brady and Gronk found work elsewhere because they needed to show they could work without Bill. They really did. And they have. So the Rams I root for because I'm an LA boy. But actually, I told somebody earlier in the chat room on the other show, I'm actually pulling for the Bengals because they've never won. And my family originated in Cincinnati. So
see, they're not. Are they the ones that played hardball like that one game where they gave Antonio Brown that severe concussion? Because
I don't remember which team it was that Brown had the big concussion on, but he's been a mess since, and it's just one of those that it finally manifested a few weeks ago. And God, you guys in this room know a lot of people watching. All 7 of you. Thank you across 3 channels. That's dismaying on reasons. Anyway. Whatever. It's late.
Especially this late at night. This is just fun.
This is true. So,
all right.
So I, knowing what I've gone through with my concussions and my traumatic brain injury, honestly, 20 years ago, I sympathize with Antonio. I do, but I don't sympathize with him being allowed to continue to be allowed to be out there and not have some sort of governor on her, be it physically, mentally, whatever. He is clearly needing help. Brady himself even said it. It wasn't about, he disrespected the franchise or the coach or whatever. It was the man needs help.
So,
and that's all it comes down to.
Yeah, and if you need help, you're your own worst enemy the longer you deny it. Shout out to John Moxley, who clearly realized he needed help in his own way. And we all have our own struggles in various ways, mentally, physically, emotionally. Whatever you are going through, just know you're not alone. Get the help you need, but admit you need help first of all, too. That's your first step towards recovery. And the fact that John Moxley took the steps to do that, not just for the brand of himself, but for his family, including his recently newborn daughter.
Eddie Kingston, too. Eddie Kingston.
He's talked about live. He wrote about in his Tribune post about how he literally deals with mental struggles every day and how one day he wonders if he will go off the deep end and literally end somebody.
Yeah.
True. His attitude is the reason why he's been fired across companies constantly.
I was going to say, JJ and I have both over the years encountered Mr. Kingston. JJ had, as far as I know, good interactions. I did not until recently. Oh no, you didn't either. Okay.
I do have a picture with him that I got at a gorilla show, but it was definitely one of those take the picture and get it over with situations.
He wasn't
Austin Aries type deal.
Yeah, he wasn't feeling it.
Austin Aries was nicer than Eddie Kingston.
Jesus Christ, that's a compliment.
That's there's your quote of the night. Austin Aries was nicer than ... That's it.
Put it to you this way: I've never encountered CM Punk nor Brock Lesnar at the airports like you've heard horror stories about. But I would imagine that them at their worst is still better than Kingston was on that day.
I'd imagine. I can believe it.
But see, at least Eddie owned it. At least Eddie's like, hey,
I love that Eddie owned it.
Yeah. And Aries refuses to this day. He's a dick and he relishes it. It's like, dude, you're so bad. You're a syphilitic dick at this point, Aries. Seriously, you're just a jerk. You're garbage. And the fact that people give him an opportunity, and granted, if he's changed, cool.
Dude, he's such a dick. He's not a hard on. He's flaccid. Like, that's what he is. There's no other way
different kind of
put it,
presentation
bro.
time than Jeff Meacham Network. This will be a whole different
All right.
presentation than you ever had before from us. Very good. Very okay. Wow.
The best part is he said that, and I turned my head away because of the comment. And the first thing my eye catches is my copy of Small Soldiers.
That you can't write that shit.
No, you can't write this.
Legit.
There's no 30.
Legit.
There is not 30 writers you could get to script that comedy gold right there.
That was
no way.
And what's so frightening about all of that is we're not on channel 4 or whatever. There's no 7-second delay. That actually went over air. That actually just happened right now in this moment. Okay.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Perfect.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
Just please nobody expose your wow, okay, good night. That's it. Fuck it, whatever. Okay, so I do need to comment on this before we move on to the
gold deserves a little super chat action right there, people. Come on,
Yeah,
right,
come
right,
on,
folks.
come on, bro.
Come
Come
on.
on, people. You want
Gotta
more of
drama,
this?
gotta drama.
Let us know you want more of
Come
this.
back
Let us
next
hear
week.
you. Oh,
So
gosh.
I do want to comment on this, not because of the part about Swole, but the part about Atlas. Okay. I don't remember if JJ will remember Jake Atlas because he was a fixture more toward later years in Hollywood with Marquez, and also a lot. He came up in the Santino's dojo. Jake Atlas is a hell of a talent. If you talk to Heather Monroe, if you talk to anybody within that Santino's family, Jake is gold. So Tony signing him right away after NXT releasing him is not a bad investment.
Yeah, it's not at all. I don't know him at all, and
no.
The first look that I got of him when he fought Adam Cole, I said, "Done. I'm sold. This guy was awesome, dude. The move he did, I don't even know what the move that he did that drove him into the canvas.
Yeah,
but that was one of the coolest moves I've ever seen. The dude is a natural charisma about him. I don't even know what to say, but he's got it, whatever it is.
He's got the athletic ability.
Should have been signed.
Yeah, he has the athletic ability working for him, no question about it. But he's definitely carried a little bit of that Joey Chaos, swagger, charisma into the show. I'm like, yeah, buddy, there he is. There's the training. So
he owns his entrance. He owns what he is, and he's got that cruiserweight type of showcasing, but he can still pass up as a heavyweight. I mean, again, he and Adam Cole did not even meet up in NXT. I kind of like how before the match on Rampage, I was kind of like the build where Adam Cole says, "I'm going to send you back to Orlando." I was like, "Oh, don't know if you want to go to Orlando."
I missed that.
This
Shit.
time.
True.
And this match right here, Jake Atlas, he shined and he over with the crowd too. Adam Cole made him look great. And truth be told, unfortunately, he got injured. Adam Cole called an audible, but he used that in his favor to kind of tell the story about, okay, Red Dragon, I'm with you. I get you. We're brothers still. Again, this is a brother that can't be broken, but we still wonder which way Adam Cole's going to go at the end of this whole super era elite fate too. So again, it was a good parallel to add to it.
I will say also, to add before you go on, Meacham, I just want to talk to report card guy here. I'd argue that it's best that he signs people when they're not all that, which I don't think is the case with Jake Atlas. Like, he's more than ready to be a part of AEW. But like people like Dante Martin, for example, or Top Flight in general, but specifically Dante, look at how much he's freaking improved.
Yes.
Look at how invested you become in Dante Martin. Dante Martin, his facials have gotten better. His actual charisma about him when he wrestles has gotten better. Same thing with Jungle Boy. Ever since they paired him up with Christian Cage, his promos have promos have gotten better. His mannerisms in the ring have gotten better. His intensity is there when it needs to be there. Like, there's a reason why they won the tag team titles now, as opposed to when they were originally going to win the tag team titles back in, what was it, the original tag team tournament that they did.
like right after Luke passed, they were going to do it as a
Right.
tribute to his dad. That was the whole point of it in the first place. And
Exactly.
I think even he went, "No, I'm not ready for that."
Well, again,
So
in
he had enough.
AEW, in AEW, no one wants to be handed everything, and everyone in AEW works together, and you work for what you earn.
Yeah.
Sure.
And it's one of those where I got to encounter Marco and Luchasaurus quite a bit, but I still have not yet met Jungle Boy, and I would love to. I love his enthusiasm. But you mentioned, Dante. He's primarily a elevation or a dark guy at the moment. But man,
Right.
having picked up on both those shows last, since Christmas, it's like, dude, this guy gets better every time I see him.
Exactly.
Nothing is more beneficial, and yet nothing is also more of a burden than television time, because you can improve in front of the world. You can have, know where the cameras are. Dude, that's why OVW was so innovative for what it was. That's why the PC is so innovative now, is because they teach you not only how to be a professional wrestler, but how to be a sports entertainer, where the hard cam is, where the side cams are, where knowledge of every
What
time you're
facials
in
you
the
should
ring.
have. Yeah.
How you
they
sell
teach
this
you,
move or this agony.
and I can't stress enough how important it is to go to a school, whether it's if you get the pleasure of the opportunity to train at the PC, dude, I don't care if you sign with WWE, take that shit and fucking run with it, because you can write your ticket anywhere on that. But Santino's, there's so many schools throughout the country, throughout the world, that you can go get that kind of education. But
Rip
at the end of the day,
Nightmare Factory.
yeah, but at the end of the day, nothing will teach you better than, unfortunately, being the Christian throwing the lions in front of a television audience and just do your shit.
That's true.
So
I will say Nightmare Factory might be giving the PC though a run for their money, only because look at how many successful students have come out of that have been on television.
And I think the difference is, and I think we can all agree, even JJ, who's not watching AEW on a regular basis, the PC is churning out what Vince wants, what Bruce Pritchard wants, what the WWE corporate structure wants their sports entertainers to look like. The Nightmare Factory and other schools are taking these guys that have, and gals, let me be clear, taking these people that have that it and saying, okay, how can we work your it to benefit you and to benefit us as a school by saying, hey, we helped do this. Yeah. So that's the difference.
It's basically, you're trying to make somebody multi-faceted, multi-dimensional. If you run through anything non-WWE, what WWE wants you to be as one-dimensional as possible, because we want you to fit our product and nothing else. And if you can't fit that, well, you're just going to be tossed to the wayside or stuck in catering, or released by Nick Khan.
Exactly.
It's sad to say. I mean, I again, Nightmare Factory, Rhodes Wrestling Academy, you named other scores. I'll even give Austin Otto credit while he blasts about his score on NWA, most commentator existence, but I digress. The freaking guy just doesn't know how to shut up.
But I mean, as far as the school goes, he's not wrong. And the thing is, as far as the school goes, he's not even wrong about it, because he's been there. He knows this shit. He came up in the, he literally worked the territories into an angle with Jerry Lawler in the Mid-South Coliseum, where he and Tommy Rich shaved the King's head in the middle of the ring in Memphis. That shit did not happen. So the fact that he got to be worked up enough in the business where he was in that position, he knows his shit. So
I'm not going to deny his mind. I'm not going to deny that at all. Again, wrestling right now, there is so much opportunity to grow, to learn, to find yourself, to fine-tune yourself, to market and sell yourself, whether you're freelancing or whether you're looking for where do I maybe belong or where I want to be signed. I keep saying it all the time. One of my favorite freelancers, I discovered her on Dark, is Kylan King. Now she trains over at Capital Championship Wrestling in Florida. She's a Capital Championship Wrestling inaugural women's champion, along with the Renegade Twins that are the tag team, also the tag team champions in Mission Pro. In my opinion, Kylan King, she's that next big up-and-comer to own the industry, because she just continues to love what she does and wants to just continue to own her craft. She's one of my all-time favorites to follow, among so many others. And that's what I love about wrestling, the fact that you don't know who's out there, but the moment you see somebody and you think, yeah, this person's got something.
There was
It's
a
really something special to see where their passion and where your enthusiasm for them as a fan takes them.
I think there is
Exactly.
a video that was done by a YouTuber named V Infuso, who literally did a whole YouTube video on this topic of AEW and how he loves what AEW is doing. And the title of the video is called "Is AEW Really Elite?" And he talks about all the positives and
Right.
just is super positive. Brings up all the diversity as well, which was, talk about ample timing, the time he released that.
Right.
All the stuff that they do right, all this, and then, does give some minor criticisms because, I
You
mean,
got to.
the show ain't perfect. I mean,
Nothing is
No.
perfect in the wrestling industry.
less
not a
interruptions
single
would be
thing
nice.
or person.
I can't agree. Like, not every promo needs to be interrupted, although certain ones should, give or take
Right.
the story, but not every single one. Like 6 a show is ridiculous, which is, I think, what AEW kind of topped. But
Right.
other than that, but that's not enough to deter me from never watching the show again. Like, you get into an end goal that's ultimately great. So who am I to
MJF and CM Punk.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring somebody else in. Alistair Keffer is in the green room, but I'm gonna throw this question to JJ and then bring Alistair and we can have him answer after. Because James and I were talking about this off air, JJ. I was bitching almost the fact that WWE has regressed 20 years or so. You've
Right.
got Vince in charge of the game. You've got Bruce Pritchard writing TVs, period. And you've got John Laurinaitis in charge of talent relations. And it's like, oh, the company's regressed 20 years. But the business is back where it was 22, 23 years ago. There's more than just WWE now. There is AEW. There is Impact Wrestling. There is the NWA. There are independent shows out there. GCW, which was, I never heard of GCW a year and a half ago. Couldn't tell you where it ran, couldn't tell you anything about it except the fact that our buddy Cindy went to the shows. Okay, cool, Cindy, great. Now it's like, I want to watch this pay-per-view now. So, JJ, let me ask you,
Hammerstein
because
Ballroom.
right, it's at the Hammerstein Ballroom. Like, that's like,
out.
yeah. for us
ECW
wrestling
television
fans,
title has been a part of canon.
it's gonna say, there you go, exactly. And nobody knows about the TV title probably more than Jay and I, as far as our mutual buddy. So, it's just saying. So, let me ask you, Jay, as I bring in Alistair, I'll go ahead and pop in there since he did. He followed directions, kids. Join us on screen if you dare.
Hey, Alistair.
Hello.
So let me just go ahead
Hey,
and
how are
good
you
to see you,
guys?
brother. So Jay, good to see you, man. Always glad to have you. The more the merrier. Come on in, but remember, guys, I can only do 10 at a time. So let me just throw that out there now. StreamYard's a bitch, but that's okay. So JJ, you were a fan. You became a fan when wrestling was the proverbial Jeff Meacham phrase, white hot, where there was more than one option for a fan to watch. You know, you yourself have said on our shows that you and I have done the last couple months or so that you're starting to, have that Zach Brown band, toes in the water, but you're still keeping your ass planted back in the sand back there. Where are you at now, knowing that there's more and more options becoming available?
The fact that more and more options are becoming available does definitely pique a little bit of interest. I still don't have the itch, the desire to sit down and watch Raw, Impact, Dynamite, Rampage, SmackDown, NXT, all the peripheral shows.
Right.
I just don't have the time for that anymore like I did 20 years ago.
Right.
Hell, like I did 10 years ago,
I was going to say.
if we're being honest.
Right.
I just don't have that time anymore. But things like the Forbidden Door, things like there being so many options where, 20 years ago it was just the E, having just put ECW and WCW completely out of business.
Right.
That type of stuff does get my interest peaked a little bit because I remember being talked into watching Raw. Oh, well, you can't talk trash about it unless you at least watch it.
Exactly.
Give it a chance tonight, see how it is, and if you don't like it, you never have to watch it again. and then coming back the next day to the school cafeteria and being like, dude, is that what it's like every week?
Right.
Because it was so amazing.
Yep.
And then seeing that Nitro was on opposite and like, oh, well, let's check out this other show during commercials. And seeing the cruiserweights over them and being grasped by Kidman and Mysterio and Guerrero and all of them, Psychosis. And then hearing about this other promotion coming on to the Nashville network, ECW, and holy crap, what is this? What are they doing?
This isn't country.
Balls, crazy stuff.
And I've even talked with some of the local guys about this, and they always crap on the show, but hearing about the local promotion from Southern California, UPW, that was going to get shot on KDOC public access with an hour show every week, and discovering Frankie Kazarian and Christopher Daniels and John Prototype Cena and Samoa Joe and the Ballard brothers and a lot
then
of
he found
those
PWG.
guys who have gone
Pro Wrestling
on
Guerrilla.
to, I mean, look at where Samoa Joe is now. Look at where Cena became.
No, Samoa Joe ain't nowhere right now.
Well,
gosh.
you know what I mean,
on the
though.
employment
Like,
line again,
Samoa
damn it.
Joe went from being like bleach blonde out here in Southern California to being dominant Ring of Honor champion, amazing series with CM Punk over there.
True.
Coming to TNA, doing everything over there.
Yes.
Then making the jump to WWE, and just like, I remember seeing this kid in 2000.
Yeah.
2000 was a hell of a year for pro wrestling, man. Like that was a peak year, not only just with the actual like stars that were on TV on the three companies you mentioned, but also the stars coming up that would shape the industry to where it is today.
Right. You know, and then you talk about going to shows and discovering guys that, you know, would kind of become your friends, and you take pride sort of in seeing where they become. And that's how I felt going to Gorilla with Jeff and seeing Bryan Danielson. And then all of a sudden he's on, you know, NXT and the original form of that. And he's part of the Nexus, and he gets fired, and then he comes back, and he's got that feud with The Miz and everything. And seeing Kevin Steen and El Generico, Sami Zayn.
Their trios matches in 2016. What a feud.
You know, seeing Roderick Strong. And now, you know, you see the Cinderella story for Daniel Bryan and becoming champion. It's like, that's my boy. I remember that dude. Like,
right?
Yeah.
JJ was there downtown with me. Well, actually, he was inside. He was inside Reddit arena name redacted back in 2013 when Bryan became the champion. But the crypt. But I was down the street at Hooters watching on the screen, going, no, because of damn it, Randy Orton. But he's exactly right. It was pride because we were legitimately friends with Bryan Danielson. We watched him come over to PWG from Ring of Honor, not having become Ring of Honor champion yet, and having that typical white boy, you know, little boy haircut, not even shaved his head and become the evil dragon yet. Like, I'll never forget. I put a picture up when he beat Randy at Night of Champions, because that's when I thought he was actually going to be champion for a while, because he actually beat the champion again. You know, there's a picture of me and Bryan. I'm much thinner. And Bryan's got this almost cherub look about him with the PWG shirt on and the whole. It's just amazing how
that was about 200 pounds ago for all of us.
Maybe not 200 for me, unfortunately. Maybe about 150 for me. But
fair enough.
Figure that's the summer of 2005. It was early PWG for Jay and I's experience at PWG, and it was just like, here we are, you know, whatever it was, 8 years later, like, that's our boy. Yeah. And
I think that's the same. I think that's the same year I discovered Laura Dennis, I believe, when I just randomly started watching random wrestling on YouTube, and I watched Smash Wrestling in Canada,
There you go.
and I saw her with Courtney Rush, who became Rosemary in the saga
Nice.
Demon vs.
Nice.
Bunny. But again, you just explore the industry and you see this guy or this gal or this person, and you just see what comes from it. And it's just something that's really incredible. And then you get these standout, one-of-a-kind moments, and you don't really understand what's fully going on, but you get a grasp of something special here. I have to say the biggest standout moment for me watching outside wrestling as a fan when I just got burnt out on the W was New Japan Pro Wrestling. And
Of course.
honestly, my first Wrestle Kingdom was probably 8. And I think the first match I watched was actually Minoru Suzuki Nagata.
Oh, what a
jeez.
match that was.
Then you just keep watching Wrestle Kingdom.
Hell of an intro.
Next thing you know, I'm looking at Okada and Omega, and I'm like, holy hell. What is this?
If you're introduced to New Japan on Okada Omega card, like, dude, count your blessings. Alistair, did we get your audio and video figured out?
Alistair,
Are we good to
your
go,
audio
brother?
In order? If he's trying to speak, I'm not hearing him. His mic is unmuted.
Hang on. Alistair, can you hear us? You can't hear us. Okay, then it's on your end, sir. So we need to figure out why that's a thing.
Yeah, it's got to be a computer.
Come back on. Go back out. Come back in.
Yeah.
Try rebooting your computer. It may help.
I was going to say, when in doubt, reboot. Anyway.
That is the classic IT philosophy to any computer problem. If you haven't done it yet,
that's right.
Do a complete shutdown. Don't say reboot because you confuse people. Wait, that's a restart, right? No, not necessarily.
Restart the computer.
Guys, I've worked in computers for 10 years. Don't get me started on a tech rant.
Anyway. By the way, speaking of one company that is in good graces with fans and multiple companies actually to
especially nowadays, James. But go
ahead. To a brand that is seen better days. Josh Mansfield, go to the comment where he saw a report on NoDQ, and he said specifically on someone explaining the entire Vince, Johnny, and Bruce thing.
Yeah, I was going to go ahead and go through it because I missed a lot of comments, and I'm sorry. So there's quite a few people gushing on your NXT UK title back there, Noah. So yes. Josh is gushing on it, and RCR is just being blunt and asking how much it cost. So there you go.
I got it on sale, so it costs $325 plus tax, and it has side plates that cost me $100 for Deling Denalo and the immortal champion of NXT UK, Walter. God bless that man. The match will always remain sacred.
So King A-Train, I guess his buddy, you have James and Noah's. He's been looking forward to this, and plus showing my support to the brothers. There, I like that. So Josh is ready. Josh was ready, whatever it was, about almost an hour ago now. Got some cheese-filled pretzel bites, an oatmeal cream pie, a Diet Pepsi, and a body arm. Damn, he's just ready to go.
I mean, I got golden Oreos, I got Lay's baked chips, and I got freaking
the Domino's
burners for days. So
I got Domino's.
That's it.
The official.
I really had a bottle of water. Is gone now.
Shape right there, baby.
Hey, that's not a bad beverage. Look, I'm always prepared.
What's even funnier about what's even funnier about JJ saying that is that we actually bought a Dr. Pepper can when we saw Nick Castle, and we had him pose like he did with the Michael Myers mask. It's now sitting there in my dresser waiting for a new home because the original home is not going to be a thing because she sucks. Anyway, so there you go. Anyway. So let's see if Alistair's got his shit together here. Let's see.
Yeah, let's check with Alistair real
and
quick.
Survey says Bueller. Whoa.
Bueller.
Oh. We can hear you, but you sound like a robot at best.
Or a message from Sammy Callahan. I see you.
Either way. Let's see. Let's see what we got
shout
here.
To Sammy Callahan.
So,
okay. Is he trying to come back?
And to go back, we were talking about earlier, but I'm trying to go as best I can. He said if Big pulled that kind of stunt back in WWE, she would have been definitely an off television or contract expires or fired, and that's at best. So,
here's the thing. She would have been Tony. I guarantee you, Tony would have fired her immediately or kept her off TV. I mean, look at what happened to Brian Cage for crying out loud.
Exactly.
Melissa Santos. So I mean, it's
okay.
happened.
So Josh is getting a 404 error on the thing. So hang on, Josh. I'll send you the invite directly. Just give me a second here.
Yeah, refresh your browser.
Yes, he's romantic at heart.
Is browser related?
Yeah. Yes, he's romantic at heart. Comment. There you go. He is.
I will say this, even though I only watch pro wrestling, I did watch a movie was called Liar Liar. Still one of my favorites of all time. I'm kicking my ass.
I'm
Mind?
kicking my ass.
So for those
Honestly,
that
the
don't
only
know,
thing is
yeah, go
the
ahead,
only
Jeff.
thing better than Liar Liar is the bloopers at the end of Liar Liar.
Oh yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes, about the courtroom, about the bra. So it's like, yeah,
goof.
in
You
your
know-
bra.
You know what movie series has
Yeah.
always been hilarious, but also the bloopers were fucking even funnier?
Rush
Hour. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Hey,
Right there,
James,
insert.
James, there's a reason why you and I are friends. All right? I've seen all 3 Rush Hours, man. They still hold up.
Do you understand the words coming out of my mouth? Hell, ain't nobody understand the words that are coming out of your mouth, Lee.
The original was the best.
I want some gefilte fish.
Yeah,
Gefilte
by
fish.
far. 2 ain't bad though. Two might be my
2 was
low-key
good.
favorite, honestly.
I
I
think 2 is
remember
my
when
favorite.
2 came out, I went to the theaters and I told whoever I went with, I don't remember who, that I had been waiting however many years for that movie. And they were like, they just announced it like a year ago. I was like, yeah, but the original totally left it open for it. You knew part 2
come
was
on.
coming.
They were not going to just
You
end it
knew
on
part
one.
2 was coming. Part 3 didn't need to be made. In my
Oh, hey,
opinion.
K&H show. I know who K&H show is. Hey, Kuzan.
All right. All right.
Yeah.
So let's try.
Hey,
Right.
Hammers.
Right.
Come on,
So
come
all
on,
right.
Austin.
Let's see. Hide current comment,
Or Joe,
and let's
what's
see if
going
we
on?
can bring him in here. See if it'll work. Survey
Moment of
says-
truth, right here. Hello.
Hello.
Nope. It's not gonna work.
Nope,
man.
can't hear you
We're
still, brother.
I don't know.
kids.
I don't know if he's doing this for his phone and he's not allowing his mic or something, but we can't
Uh,
hear you,
it's-
bro. Well, insert.
Try-
StreamYard is
I-
so picky.
Honestly, just try a comment. I'm unfortunately, man. Just
Insert Price is Right loser horn here.
Well, as we say
Or
at
sax
Rocky,
trombone.
as we said at Rocky Horror many times over the years, Alistair, thanks for coming. And if you didn't, try again next week. Okay. Anyway, we'll go right along here. But all right. So the comment that James brought up, I saw a report on ODQ specifically on someone explaining the entire Vince, Johnny, Bruce going down NXT thing, and honestly made me feel somewhat better with the new NXT. Okay, I saw the same report, and I don't disagree with at least understanding it. My whole thing with NXT being what it was compared to what it is, and this is much more of a talk wrestling discussion, but that's okay. Open mic. So
Exactly.
R.I.P. my NXT. Go ahead, Jeff.
yeah, it's one of those where, and JJ and I have talked about this numerous times. I think I've talked about it with both you other guys. The single biggest change to our world and the single biggest detriment to our world has been the internet.
Yes.
Because when I started watching wrestling in 1990, and even as I became a teenager, so that would have been 1996, let's say, when
that sounds about right to me too.
Because figure 96 was my 13th year. It was when Austin 316 was coined. It was when the NWO became a thing. So the society was changing and the culture was changing. Even then, I didn't have access to the amount of information I do now, not just wrestling, but period. I still was barely, the one thing I have from back then is my email. My Yahoo email has not changed in 25 years. Other than that, everything has expanded and grown and gone outward, not necessarily in a good way either, right? So I think us knowing how the magic trick is done has been nothing
but detrimental.
If we didn't know that, if we didn't know that Triple H was the original showrunner of NXT, if we didn't know that there had been this monumental shift behind the scenes, would we give as much of a shit? That's I've been trying to take around in my head, because
I feel like yes and no, because there's such obvious changes. I feel like there's such obvious changes that it would be hard not to notice, but
right.
That's also
Okay. We're gonna try Alistair. Whoops, shit! I know what I wanted to do. Just kidding. Oh, so my key is here, and Alistair, we're gonna try one more, brother. Then we're gonna call it a night for you, my friend. I'm sorry to be a dick, but
all right. Hello, can you guys hear me now?
yes.
Now we can hear you. Yeah.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
can.
Sorry, guys. Sorry about that, guys.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm not good at this stuff.
No, you're
Yeah,
good.
it's all right. It's a
All right.
change of pace.
So
First off, it's great to see you. Great to hear your voice. I know you and I have chatted a number of times about the league, but that being said, let's welcome our other guest onto this
Same
first
with
ever
us, yes.
forum. Mikey, how are you?
What's up, guys? Before we talk wrestling, I had a serious question I needed to ask all of you. I needed some advice. JJ, Noah, what was it? James?
Yeah, James. Yeah.
Yo, guys,
James,
Jeff,
yes.
I need some advice, guys. Some messed up stuff happened to me today on the road.
Go for it.
All right.
What we got?
So I'm on the road going home. I'm going to bring my brother home. I pull into a gas station. We're just coming from a dispensary. You know, I'm going to pick up some chronic. You know what I'm saying? So we pull into a gas station, and I'm like, while I'm pumping the gas, I'm throwing the crap out of my back seat. You know what I mean? The trash and all that. Guys, I took the brown bag and I threw away my marijuana into a trash can, right?
Oh no, dude.
Bro, that's a Matt
Party
Riddle
foul.
situation.
Party foul.
Guys,
Oh,
I'm talking about an ounce and a half. Not no little amount. You know, we went up together to pick some stuff up.
Okay,
So anyways,
okay. What state is this in? Like we
Massachusetts.
Oh fuck.
Oh shit. Oh fuck.
It's legal in Mass. That's where the dispensaries are. So anyways,
Bro,
That's where
in
the
your
problem
neck of
is,
the woods, bro. I'm in your neck of the woods, bro.
I know. I thought you were when you mentioned the Patriots, bro. But so guys,
if you want advice how to get it back, you're
off.
fucked. But anyway.
So I dropped my brother off about 30 minutes away, and I order some food, and I'm about to roll up, and then I look in my back seat. It's gone. You know, I'm like, holy shit, I must have threw my marijuana away. And then I realized I did. So I jet back up. It's 30 minutes away. I jet back up to the gas station, and then the trash is empty.
Wow.
It's empty. It's empty, you guys.
No.
So I go inside. I'm like, yo, I lost
the-
something. I lost something in the trash can. When did you take the trash out? He's like, I did it 2 hours ago. I was like, I'm just here 30 minutes ago. You could not have. So where do you keep the trash? So guys, this is where my question is coming to you all. I had to go into the back, into the big trash to find my chronic. And you guys, I did find it.
Okay.
Mission successful.
So these are the canisters that they originally came in when I got. So 2 of them were still in the brown bag. I pulled it out of the trash, right? One of them had fallen through, touching other trash. I came home, I took a rag, soap and water, wiped them all down. Guys, my question is, what do I have to do further? Do I just have to take them out of these canisters, or can I keep it in there? JJ, what do you think, bro?
This is far out of my
This is where-
expertise, bro.
This is way out of my realm. I think
It's a hell of a
Less
story,
about this
bro.
than I do football.
JR's daughter. I think JR's daughter is starting a cannabis farm. I think she would probably have better
I think,
advice
you
than
should.
me.
You probably should go on JR's show to ask questions about this, bro. I think he'd know more than I would. JJ
hi,
might
Rob.
have something for you.
Hi, Rob.
Nah, I'm clueless.
Rob, listen to the story. You're not
Call
Would
me
you
Alicia
would you guys
Silverstone,
keep
dude.
it
I
in
am
here?
totally clueless.
Jeff, would you still keep it in here, or should I definitely take it out of here?
I am the least likely to know anything about a weed answer whatsoever. I can call
Yeah, bro.
my ex.
JJ, your only hope. Go.
I don't know anything.
Not
Nobody in my family
Do I have
messes
to
with the
take it?
stuff.
Do I have to
I
take
know
it out of
nothing.
here, or can I leave it in there?
You
Will I
should be
get sick?
fine, I would think, but I have no clue, dude.
I would say better safe
You know,
than sorry.
I
just
think
out
you
of
need to
health.
look to the people
that's
on
all
that
I would
poster
say.
behind you and hit up Suge and Dre and ask them.
Here's my recommendation. Here's my recommendation for you, dude.
tweet RVD.
If you really want to have fun, just wing it. See what happens. There you go.
James,
Even more
The
fun.
views of
that's
James
reckless,
Hebert.
that's reckless advice.
No,
views
you're
of James-
saying if I want to remain healthy, I should take it out of that container.
No,
Yeah,
I'm saying
Oh, yeah,
saying
well,
proceed
yeah.
with caution is all I'm saying. I'm not I'm not suggesting anything because as a bro with zero experience in this and a family with zero experience in this, I am not going to give you false advice.
Well, Jeff,
Ditto.
I hit it with soap and water. Jeff, you used to be a
Okay.
teacher.
Again, you're asking the wrong.
Dude, I don't
I
think
will
anyone
text
knows,
Hang
bro.
on, hang on,
Wish
hang
we
on.
did.
JJ, I
Hang
hit
on,
it with
hang on,
soap
hang
and
on,
water,
hang
man.
on.
Does Google have anything about this? Usually Google.
Oh
Okay,
yeah, fuck it.
comma, I have a weird question. Colon.
Jeff's
A
trying to
friend
go
of
to the
mine
sources.
Bought some and ended up accidentally throwing it in a trash
like
can
I
at a
said,
gas station.
None of us
period.
here have
He then
a
went back
legitimate
to
answer.
This is
But
outside my
the
experience.
gas
This is
station
outside
and
my
had to dig it
knowledge.
out of the trash.
I would say
period.
if it stayed
He's curious
within the
about
case,
the safety
you should
of
be
using
good.
it out
Bro,
of the container. Period.
You
What
should.
Chat, do you have anything towards this? Does anyone
Chat.
in the chat have anything towards this?
Chat, help us out, bro. Chat, help us
Vince
out.
Russo, we've said bro 20 times in the last 5 minutes. You in there, bro? You got anything towards this?
Bro,
Yeah,
100%.
Russo would be like, bro, I wouldn't smoke it, bro. I would not smoke it, bro.
He would no, Mikey, you're wrong. He'd say, I invented weed, bro. I invented weed.
Yeah,
bro.
you're right.
You didn't know? I put that shit on a pole, bro.
Yeah, get Matt Riddle and MSK, bro, in a triple threat match. Put it on a pole, and that will sell you massive tickets, bro.
Pete Dunne getting a crowbar, bro. Gave it to T-Bar as a gift, bro.
So I'm good, but I'm just wondering, should I put it into a regular bag, JJ?
I have no idea.
I don't think you need to, personally, but I don't know.
Thank you.
Sent.
All right, good. I just hope
Good for you,
something
but-
doesn't happen to me
Good for
because
you,
I
man.
touched,
That may have been question of the night, honestly. Because
I think it's story of the night. Oh,
I literally
God.
touched everybody in the state's trash. So I've it's horrible, you guys. This is the point in time where
Bro,
nobody
you
wants
touched
to
Massachusetts.
touch anybody,
Bro,
and I've just
you
touched the whole
touched
town's trash.
Massachusetts trash. Dude, what the yeah, you're fucking bro.
I really am.
Ugh.
I
Oh
can
my
already feel
God.
my nose starting to run.
Yeah,
Oh,
talk to
Lord.
Van Damme. He might be able to give you advice. Tweet at him.
As long as it didn't touch the actual stash, he's good to go.
There you go.
Straight. All right, then.
But I'm just wondering because I'm holding it like this, but I've washed this.
We got it. We got it.
Like, am I
Trust me.
still allowed to hold it, or do I just like?
I feel like this is turning into a who's on first routine, and we're just.
I got an
gonna keep going
idea.
around in circles.
I got an idea, Mikey. Mikey, I got an idea.
What's up, dude?
Sanitize the shit.
I did.
Uh,
I did.
You're
Soaked it
set
up.
then. You're set. You're perfect.
Thank
You're
God.
golden, bro.
man.
Oh,
You
my
guys are
Lord.
such a help, man. I was watching the stream. I was like, you know what? I need to come in and get the advice from these guys. They're gonna know.
You picked the exact wrong room on the exact wrong night on this channel because most other nights I've got at least fucking somebody.
That was the wrong number.
Like seriously, because actually, you know what? I take that back. None of my guys, no, because Greg is straight edge. Mikey's doesn't smoke weed. Yeah, you're kind of screwed on my channel, brother.
Yeah.
I mean, in fairness, bro, I think you're good because if you sanitize the shit, you're pretty set.
If I
Mad
wasn't-
props for that poster behind you, though, dude. That is awesome.
That fucking
Yeah.
poster.
Yeah,
does
that is
a
work.
good
Being
poster.
someone
That's
who
a bomb
was
ass
raised
poster.
in Long Beach, like
Death Row Records.
seeing
Yeah,
that
fuck
Death
yeah.
Row poster
Oh,
behind
my
you,
God.
mad respect.
I respect. All right, let's bring in the other guy in because he's been
All right.
trying to ask his question for ages, bro. I feel bad.
If I
He's
wasn't
actually
straight
gone
edge
now,
right
so yeah,
now,
he's
and
gone,
I took a
so.
shot for every time bro was said on here, I'd be passed out on the floor.
That
Bro.
was one of the funniest segments I think I've ever been a part of in my effing life. That was
Where are we
that
at
was
here?
tremendous.
We're in an hour.
Oh my gosh.
Noah, how you doing? How you doing bedtime wise? Noah, you good to go, brother? Or?
You know
I-
what? We're engaging in conversation. What is bedtime? I don't have to work till 11 a.m.
Okay,
Keep this
very
party
good.
going.
We're good.
Good.
Same. Let's go.
That's why he's got
Let's
the
go.
sunglasses on, man, to hide the bloodshot eyes.
I wear my sunglasses at night so I
That's it.
can. Shout out to Corey Hart. That's all I
All
gotta
right,
say
you
about that.
guys.
That's,
If you know, my wrestling question though.
Okay.
Oh, we got a wrestling
Oh,
question.
God,
All right.
okay.
Okay, now this I could probably handle.
All right. So I was having this conversation with my brother tonight, he disrespected this totally. You know, I want to talk about the ratings, but I also want to talk about Dynamite, Rampage. We'll talk about the Dynamite ratings, but I want to talk about Rampage real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
1 hour show. It's doing about 500,000 viewers on average. I was thinking if they made the show 2 hours, it would give people more of a reason to tune in. My brother disagreed with me. He said if people don't want to tune in to watch 1 hour, why would they tune in to watch a second hour? So I want to know, what do you guys think? If they made Rampage 2 hours, would it average better ratings, like 700 to 1 million, like Dynamite? What do you guys think?
It really comes down to, I feel like, the attention you draw and the time you do it. I feel one of the downfalls to Rampage is the fact that it's on such a late time. As somebody who literally sometimes works most Fridays and as soon as it gets off work just sleeps till Rampage is on, I will say Rampage is always an engaging hour of pro wrestling for me to see. It kind of reminds me back when NXT used to be 1 hour, but they weren't on television. They were on their own network. And even then, they had their own Pacific time slot, not nearly as late. Even back in the original Black and Gold days of 1 hour NXT Triple H style, it drew about the same at first, but as it gained more traction, it basically got up to like 700,000, 800,000. I feel if Rampage first changes the time slot, the 2 hours could suffice, but on Friday night, it's kind of hard. Do you do 1 hour before SmackDown, during SmackDown? Do you try and run it up head-to-head against SmackDown? I think that pretty much is like a death note for them. So
you mind if I interject on this, Noah? Because I think I have the answer.
Go ahead.
I think I have the answer for this because I'm going to take you back for a second, Mikey. Right? You know Sunday Night Heat, right? I mean, we're Attitude Era fans at heart. I can just tell, right?
Yep,
like,
you know that.
We love the Attitude Era.
Okay.
So Sunday Night
We're old,
Heat,
it's okay. Yeah, anyway,
yeah, right.
You're as old as you feel. That's the way I see it. But anyway.
But so Sunday Night Heat
in that case,
was
I'm
on
dead.
Sunday. Right.
You're alive.
Sunday Night Heat was at 7:00 p.m. on Sunday nights on USA, and best fucking time slot. Like, they were getting at least 4 million viewers every week when they were at the peak of their popularity, which was around 98, 99. And they were crushing it every metric, right? Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen with Rampage if they move that show and put it on Sunday nights. But if they put it on Sunday nights at 7 p.m. as opposed to Friday nights at 10 p.m. right after SmackDown, I think that would actually do a lot more to benefit them in the long run, because it really helped like last minute pay-per-view buys when Sunday Night Heat would happen right before pay-per-view. And that could be the same kind of thing when it comes to Rampage. Rampage is like the buy-in to the actual pay-per-view. So I feel like they should really just move it to Sunday nights at 7. That's what I'd be doing. That's how I'd solve that problem. Hell, even if they have like a early show or something, like there's no way they can't negotiate with TNT and it's like, hey, can we move our time slot to 6 because we got a pay-per-view coming up? And they'd be like,
James, what if they have like the Accountant or Suicide Squad or some random movie on during that time?
Yeah, like,
I was going to bring that up.
The other thing you got to factor in is that AEW is targeted more towards people like us. And people like us would rather be out on a Friday as opposed to home watching wrestling. While SmackDown is getting good ratings because it's more geared towards families and parents staying home with their kids that are all about that lifestyle. So having something on at 10 o'clock on a Friday is already a losing situation unless that was the only AEW broadcast that was on each week, like when ECW was running on TNN, like when Impact first started and it had the shitty Fox or whatever it was.
Yeah, Fox Sports Net.
Before they got the good time slots.
It comes down to what do you have to coincide with it on television or in your life. And when it comes to Friday nights, people are out and about or asleep.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Whereas Sunday nights, like James said, people are starting to wind down their weekends.
Everybody's winding down, watching TV.
School the next day.
A cold one.
Yeah. Well, you see, my argument, JJ, is that I want the show to go to 2 hours. But if they went to 2 hours on Sunday, that wouldn't make sense. 7 to 9, they would, it would conflict with WWE pay-per-view.
True.
To a degree,
no, that's
you're right.
fair. That's fair.
More times than not, but that's only if it was 2 hours. If they kept it 1 hour, it wouldn't. It would go back
because
to
it would
the
be
old
during
formula.
the last hour. Even on the big four when they do the 2 hour kickoff show, absolutely pointless in my opinion.
It also depends on what Sunday it's on as well. Because again, if it's at 6 o'clock p.m. or 7 o'clock p.m., I think they're golden when it comes to conflicting with WWE pay-per-view. Because I think
WWE pay-per-views lately, they come on the actual pay-per-view now comes on either 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. They have not been consistent.
I think the pre-show usually starts at 7 p.m., but I digress.
Noah said that all these movies airing. So Noah, you think there's no chance they get 8 to 10 on Saturday night?
I feel like, again, it's all about network negotiation because they just did Battle of the Belts and they only gave them an hour for that versus 2 hours plus worth of wrestling content that AEW had, which is why they put on championship matches on AEW Dark, their YouTube platform. So, again, it comes down to network negotiation and competition, not just in television, but your actual fans themselves and their attention. I feel it's entirely possible for AEW not only to do and run a long-term pickup traction 2 hour Rampage. I would just not do it in the midnight on Friday night.
Never.
And I would maybe try once in a while, maybe 7 to 8, just to engage people. Be like, this is what's actually on here. Check this out before you may check out this usual conventional stuff. They kind of did that one time with the Rampage buy-in that did coincide with part of SmackDown, and then they went into a live Rampage. So I think it's entirely possible, personally.
Just to note the Battle of the Belts, you probably already read it. 700,000 viewers.
Saturday
not
night,
bad,
1 hour, 700,000
Not bad
viewers.
at all.
A tradition brought back since 1988. First time I've ever seen anything called a Battle of the Belts. And I was fairly engaged for the hour. And again, it's only an hour. Less
They'll have 2
commercials,
next year, Noah.
less delay, less distractions, straight up action, done like that.
I also want to add Mike, that this is me personally. I don't think they need 2 hours. I think they just need a better time slot. To me, just because you can do more doesn't mean you should. If you don't have the quality to justify the quantity, don't have the quantity.
That's the metric.
They
Quality
do have the quality,
versus quantity.
though, don't they?
I think they do have the quality, but how much quality do they have? Like, it only can appear so much. You know
and how much quality is too much quality to the point you start under like selling your actual quality of your product. The audience becomes more perceptive to that. Too much of a good thing. That's the thing. Plus, right now, as far as wrestling goes, when you look at all the conventional stuff on TV and wrestling, Rampage is the only thing that gives you an hour per week flat.
True. That's on TV too for wrestling.
Jeff,
do you have anything to comment on this or no?
Yeah.
Do you have anything to comment on this, Jeff?
I do. But I was loving the Discord, and I'll have Josh chime in his 2 cents on the topic as well.
Good to see you, Josh.
Noah, my brother, how
Josh
you
made
doing?
it in. I had to give him a direct link. That's the thing.
100%.
I had to give him a direct link. That was the key.
I kept trying to type in the one that he had that's going on the screen now. I kept trying to just type it in, and it was giving me a 404 the entire time.
It's not
really.
great.
Sometimes your computer will trip out like that.
You know what?
You got to use Google Chrome. I don't know if you were using Safari, but
I use Google Chrome. I exclusively use Google Chrome.
You're a wise man.
Computers will be tripping out like that, though.
Yeah,
exactly.
I don't watch. Am I secretly Post Malone's love child?
Yes. Yeah.
Psycho.
Breaking news.
Wow.
Yes, he is.
Comment of the night.
Psycho, buddy. I would just say this.
That's a rock star.
You watched Scat Boys last Tuesday and saw how I called out Big G. You probably don't want to try calling me out here in the comments.
Well,
or I'll
Post
call you
Malone's
out
a
to
good
get your
dude,
butt
Josh.
on here. Just ask Jeff.
The whiskey's too far away from me, Josh. The whiskey's across the room. Please don't do that.
Okay, calm down. Josh, just be like Big J. Just be happy to be here. All right? Calm down.
Oh, I am. Hey, Noah.
I understood that reference.
Josh.
You and I know,
Yeah,
Noah.
that's it.
When you and I get together on one of these, you and I know what happens.
Oh, I know. You lost a bet to me. Good thing you didn't have it in writing. You would have owed me $100.
What was that bet? I can't remember the terms.
It was Extreme Rules, and he bet against the Tribal Chief. He picked Finn Balor, the Demon, to beat Roman Reigns.
Oh
And
my
then what were the
god!
What that?
Oh.
What did he have to do? I forgot.
He would have had to pay me $100, or I would have had to pay him. But we only did it as a
That was
humor
a
thing.
horrible bet, Josh.
It was not in writing. He and his wallet was safe.
In absolute fairness, though, Josh almost could have won, but that ending was horseshit.
Yeah,
Like,
but there should have been a rig on that, James. Like,
Yeah, no,
There were several horseshit endings this weekend.
I said it, James. I said on ATW View, the ring might as well have been built by IKEA. Who explodes a fracking ring rope while standing on top of it?
Yo, where are those Swedish meatballs at?
Bro, don't get me started.
Right?
Anyway,
If Roman won, Noah should have got $100. If Roman lost, then Josh should have got $200. There has to be a
I see.
you know,
Double or nothing. All right,
because
well,
it was obvious
Hey, I
that
still
Roman
got-
was going to
hey.
win, even though what James said with that finish, it was like you almost thought Finn was going to win.
True.
oh my
For
gosh.
no
It was like a
DQ
movie.
bets, I'm 1-1 because I lost to Noah, but I will always treasure my victory over Virtue in 2019
I remember
for
this too.
WrestleMania 35.
I remember that. I remember that.
There you go.
I remember that.
You beat Virtue. What'd you beat him in?
That was good shit.
What'd you beat him? What'd you beat him in?
The WWE title match for WrestleMania 35 of
Kofi
if it was
Kingston.
going to be a one-on-one with Kofi.
Oh yeah, versus multi-person.
Ah,
And that was before
there
Seth
you go.
Rollins
Go back
opened
and
the
watch
show
the
with Brock
Fastlane
Lesnar.
2019 predictions from No DQ because I make Virtue go on a little rant when I call him out for Becky Lynch drawing more
tremendous.
than him.
Damn.
Josh, I think I'm Noah, who's further in the rankings, me or Josh? Who's ahead in the
Probably Mikey because I did not do well on day one.
Ah,
No, day one was bad. Day one was so
Day
bad. Oh
one-
my god.
Day one was a Monday Night Raw on pay-per-view. Okay, let me go ahead and get. Let me go ahead and get
Thank
into my
you.
analyst style.
Exactly
here.
how
here.
exactly how day one should start.
Okay.
Oh
The
Lord.
matches were great. The matches
Right?
were great.
That's it.
The matches
but you
weren't
can say
bad.
that-
I'll
you
give them
can-
that. The matches
you
were
can say
not
that
that
about
bad.
every WWE pay-per-view. Is there any consequence? Is any progression being led? Do I care?
does day one mean anything? Why wouldn't they, JJ? Like I was thinking, day one, right? They should have brought in the NXT championship. Bring
Oh,
it's really
Lord.
day one for all of the companies under WWE, but they dropped
Well,
the ball
you're,
with that.
you're gonna like my Royal Rumble prediction then.
Josh,
Go for
tell me, are you with Team No DQ this time? Are you doing it on your own, or you want to join my Galaxy panel? What you doing?
I'm doing well. Whichever you want. I have not heard anything from the big boss. I'll join yours if you want.
Hey, let's freaking go. I'll
Sorry
keep you
about that.
My
posted.
buddy Tyler and I haven't
Alright.
recorded anything for a while for my
So
channel.
let's see
So-
here. We've only done one. As you all know, I host multiple predictions leagues for all sorts of fans of wrestling. And as far as the No DQ Galaxy WWE wing, there's only been one pay-per-view, day one, not ish, just day one. Mike T, you did pretty good. You got 5 overall out of that. But again, Ashley Reynolds, Matthew Hawkins, Michael Gonzalez, and Tim, perfect score. They each got 6. And as far as you, Josh, you got 3.
Oh wow!
Damn.
So
Going into high
again,
for
it's
that
day
one.
one.
It
It was a Monday
Lashley,
Night Raw on
didn't you,
pay-per-view. Anything could happen the
See,
rest of the year.
I think I would have done
And
better
Jeff was
had the main events not gotten screwed all the way up.
Right. True.
Well,
you're
I mean,
in
it's not
there,
the
right?
first time a main event was screwed up. Jeff, you also got 3 as well.
yeah,
There you
and Jeff was drunk on a Mountain Dew mimosa, so he really didn't give a shit. Anyway,
Ooh, did you
Yeah,
say
I
Mountain Dew?
I haven't drank
did.
since, well, drank since
drank.
SummerSlam.
I never drank in my life. But I
Jeff
never
was
drank in my
getting
life.
a little
I'd
bit
probably
bubbly, a
have
little
that
too
Mountain
hard.
Dew mimosa. I'd probably
is
have that Mountain Dew.
With the
Okay, so-
Mountain Dew mimosa, Jeff. I seen
so
that. in
what
somebody's
happened
feed.
was, so
Are
what
you
happened
lying?
was, no, I'm not lying. You know I'm lying because you was there. Shut up.
Jeff be on trendy shit.
I bought a bottle of a little bit of the bubbly. Finally, toward the end of, or actually, it was toward the middle of the year. That makes sure I had it. But when I went to go make mimosas at my sister's house on New Year's Day, no orange juice, and a house with children. I'm like, okay. So what can I mix? Google searches your friend. It literally is called Mountain Mimosas. I'm like, okay, I'm curious. By the weirdest circumstance, they brought home, if you're familiar with the Circle K, shenanigans at the foot of the Circle K, Jay, freaking polar pop of Mountain Dew back to the house. Oh, this is perfect. Mixy. That bottle
for the record, are we
bubbly
talking
was
classic
empty.
Dew? Are we talking classic Dew? Or are we talking the current Dew?
Classic Dew, yes, sir.
It's the only way you do it.
We
It's
are
the only way
talking
you do it.
The
I do like that code.
the most
red.
caffeinated beverage out there
What
that's
you think.
mass marketed, plus Chris Jericho's bubbly. Both the cup of Dew and the entire bottle of bubbly were gone by the time the show was over. The anniversary
The
show.
horse. Oh my lord.
Wow.
He was out, man. He was gone. He's gone.
I'd try
And
that. No
Jeff-
lie, and I don't even
then
drink.
Jeff.
And then Jeff watched day one, and then Jeff went 9-9.
No Samoa Joe sleeper needed.
Jeff. That's not
No,
as bad.
there was
as
a
what
reason
happened
why
to me
Jay-
for
and-
SummerSlam. Not as
Oh,
bad. as
I
what happened
remember.
to me with
I remember SummerSlam.
For those of you who
Okay,
are on
well,
here that
SummerSlam
don't know,
stories.
Remind us, Josh.
so
Oh boy.
for those of you who don't remember this is the last time I actually properly drank because of how screwed up this got me. I drank. So I had with me a bottle of green apple Smirnoff vodka.
Oh fuck!
You crazy son of a
I haven't
bitch.
had that since I was
Hold on.
17.
Hold on.
Strike one. Wait. Let him get it out, guys. Let him get it out.
You
All
guys are gonna laugh. So I had a glass with me. I poured some in, and I was drinking this vodka straight with
Dude.
nothing else added.
Oh,
I
my
drank
Lord.
half of that bottle.
Nice.
I don't remember past Bianca Belair coming out for her entrance. I remember bits and pieces of Becky coming back. I remember images of Cena, Roman. I remember Lesnar coming out, and I was gone. I was blacked out. I remember waking up at like 3 or 4 in the morning, just me, puking up foam,
Just you.
thinking I need to go to the
Oh
hospital.
my lord.
And I could not talk for the next 5 days because my throat was so scratched and lined with the vodka
Scratched
that
from
it
the
hurt to
booze.
talk. I could not talk for 5 days. The only drink I have had since then is one Angry Orchard and just a couple popsicles melted in a glass. That is all I've had
There you
since.
go.
So
Since
Josh,
August.
I have to ask you then, does that mean that you watching WWE almost caused you to die of alcohol poisoning?
Yep.
All right. Put that in the
Here we
column.
go. Inquiring minds and the dozens and dozens of Mick Foley fans watching this broadcast want to know, how do you have images of a man you can't see?
Jesus Christ, Jay. Awful.
That sounded like an awesome night, Josh. I won't
Be the
have a
jokes,
night
folks.
like that, man.
So, if y'all familiar with my story, that sounds like a combination of my Lemmy story and my SummerSlam 2010 story into one.
Right.
That's horrid. Wow. Okay.
I
You could not have been that drunk at SummerSlam 2010 because Josh just sounds like he was obliterated. I saw you on video, Jeff, but this guy just sounds like he was just like, he can't remember nothing.
Forgive me, by the way, Jeff, for because I only started watching. For those of you who don't know, I was in middle school in 2010, 6th grade. So that's when I started watching WWE. Yes, I'm young.
Damn.
I love making.
Go back
the
on the No DQ channel and see if you can find that old video from SummerSlam 2010. Jeff put a tweet out there that he was in Staples Center for SummerSlam, people were bringing him drinks to his seat just because they wanted to say hello to the great and powerful Jeff Meacham.
Good old
Yeah.
Jeff Meacham.
My brother, who I was
famous.
talking about earlier.
Dude, you got the
Mike,
Gabriel Iglesias treatment?
Mike, hey, wait. JJ tells it better than I do because he was coherent for it. It gets better.
Uh-oh.
Go ahead, JJ.
Awesome.
That's gonna be good.
We then go to Bob's Big Boy, where they did the whole post show, which was actually my original No DQ debut because I was there for that.
Our first HD broadcast of Talk Wrestling, our first HD broadcast on No DQ, period. Aaron got a brand new camera, brand new everything.
Hey, look
and
at
this
him.
dipshit gets
Upgrade.
himself drunk off his ass because people are preparing him drinks because I tweeted I'm in section 231.
The only way
and
Jeff could even remember the show was to go back and watch the footage that was filmed of him.
Wow.
He was literally
reason it
carried
exists-
through the entire episode by his cohort at the time.
That's
and
beautiful.
the cohort at the time
That's
is the reason
beautiful.
it's not on the channel anymore, which sucks, but it is what it is. Yeah, I drank myself. I think I drank my weight in booze at Staples Center prices. Let's not forget that people are buying me drinks at Staples Center prices.
I'm about to say,
So
that's a Staples
great.
Center price drink. That sounds
15 a
incredibly
beer?
high.
That sounds like twice the price I would pay here.
Oh
in
no,
Ohio.
not beer.
Oh, yeah, the real
I'm
stuff.
talking.
I remember at a WWE event, they had that big fat beer for like $15. I think might
Fuck.
even
All
been
right, we're
WrestleMania.
talking what they're selling 7 gold or
If it had been the
$7
$15 WWE beer,
Hey,
it's right. If it had been the WWE
Talking
$15,
like
I wouldn't
this
have had more
size.
than one because I'm not a fan.
yeah, so like a
beer.
big
Yeah,
gulp
I mean,
at 7-Eleven size.
well, I mean, hey, they've been partnership with 7-Eleven. I mean, it wouldn't
we're
surprise me.
talking right around. Pardon the kitty emojis
Oh,
on this
okay.
thing, but it's about this size at Staples. But it was not apple juice, kids.
Oh, Lord.
Over and
See,
over
I
throughout
can't
the
drink
entire
regular
pay-per-view and pre-show.
Yeah. But Josh, being that you were a fan in 2010, what was your first WrestleMania?
So the first WrestleMania I remember actually watching live because I got all of them on. I started getting them on DVD. First WrestleMania I watched on DVD was WrestleMania 26, which is one of my
Okay, so
favorite
John Cena
WrestleManias.
Batista.
What?
Yeah,
John
John
Cena
Cena
Batista,
Batista, Randy Orton versus Legacy.
The main
Legacy.
event that made me
Streak
turn my
versus
back on the
career.
pay
I was
per
gonna
view.
say JJ WrestleMania 26 story too.
And
It was
I am going to
Batista,
take the
JJ?
hot take here. I would take the hot take here. Streak versus career of Taker and HBK is
Right.
my favorite over WrestleMania 25.
Really?
Okay. All right.
I
That's
agree.
A bold,
more
that's a
on the
bold
We can have
statement because I
See,
feel,
that's
I
kind
feel
of
the
material
other
for
way
the great
about
ADQ
that.
debate. We can bring up to but
Bring to virtue, yeah.
let me.
I feel the other way about
Right,
that
yeah,
too.
yeah.
But yeah, Cena Batista, I was so done with both of them at that point that I was literally at my mom and my stepdad's house. That match came on. I took my chair, turned it around the other way, and sat with my back to the TV for the entire match.
Well, JJ, that was a very weak match anyways. But Jeff, let me ask you, better match, John Cena versus Batista, WrestleMania, or John Cena versus JBL, WrestleMania? Which one was better? Because they were both really bad.
They were both bad. You have to remember, I should have been there for 21, but I wasn't because I
that
convinced
was such
myself
a
I didn't
good
want to go to the Hall
WrestleMania
of
though,
Fame.
besides that
And
match.
Okay, no, you're not gonna have a talk. Okay, so that WrestleMania was decent.
Yeah.
Then it hit the freaking roadblock that was the women's title match. Then it had a moment. Oh, we got Angle Michaels, cool, and then it freaking derailed after that. Okay,
Yeah.
horrible mania.
I kind of
26.
wish I forgot that.
Women's title
26, Christy and Trish. I love
It
both
was
girls.
Christy
Met both
versus
girls.
Trish
Work with both
Stratus.
girls. But
I'm having a hard time remembering Christy.
Christy Hemme.
Christy Hemme, the original Diva
Oh.
Search winner.
Yeah, the 250,000 Diva Search girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, the redheaded girl.
and
yeah,
again,
okay.
both
She was at
lovely
Mania challenging for
women,
the title?
great to
Yeah.
work with.
Yeah.
In Hollywood.
Yeah,
no
do you
less.
remember? I don't.
I do.
I
There's a
remember-
reason
I
why
remember-
we have selective memory on that one.
I remember.
Probably.
Look, there's certain
Christy-
things you want to forget, and there's certain things that you remember because they were that good. I mean, Jeff summed it up perfectly. You had Michaels and Kurt Angle, and then you had that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
Ray and Eddie was
Christy
the
Hemme,
first
Trish
match.
Stratus
Christy
was
Hemme-
at the height of her heeldom at that point, and she
Yes.
was getting
Yep.
a freaking Road Warrior pop to beat the shit out of Christy Hemme.
Yes.
That's
Christy
how
Hemme only got
horrible
the shot
match
that year.
was.
Christy only got the shot that year because she was the WWE Playboy du jour, or the
Exactly.
year, whatever
was
the French
injured.
term is of the year. And
Okay.
well, no, because Lita was supposed to be champion, but like you said, she got hurt in the match
Like,
after she
bad.
won it. So
Yeah.
they get. I mean, yeah, her knee was torn, like Bailey torn to shit. That it was.
That
real
was that
bad.
wasn't the
Yeah.
that wasn't
So-
the what was
It wasn't
time she
the
needed next
suicide
surgery?
dive that nearly ended her. If that's what you're thinking, like the main event Monday Night Raw match.
No.
Yeah, we're
Lita's
talking about
neck
New
injury
Year's Revolution
before-
2, right? 2005.
Right, yeah. It was New Revolution.
Yes.
It was a
Okay.
simple Fez press type dive off the steps, and she just tore her knee to the hell and back, and they had to call an audible and give the title back to Trish, and that's why Trish. Because if I remember right, I think they were going to have Lita go into Mania and lose to Trish there because that's a big match. Trish Lita WrestleMania, boom, there it is. And I even talked about this
Yeah,
on Jeff
exactly.
Meacham Show today. Lita hasn't had a one-on-one championship match at Mania in her entire career. That's a big reason
She's
why.
only had one
right
match
there.
at Mania, period. And that's why
insanity.
I think
Yeah.
with Sasha being injured and out till March, they had to do in
Is why
case
we're
of
going to get.
emergency
Is why we're going to
break
get.
glass,
break-
pull out Lita. I think
Yeah.
it probably would have been Charlotte versus Sasha, but with Sasha out till March, you can't build a women's world title feud starting in March
On a what if?
to WrestleMania.
No.
On
On
a
a
what
what
if.
if.
That's the
Yeah,
thing,
that's
though.
true.
Well,
That's absolutely fair.
You can. It's just you have to make sure that it's going to be March and not April 1st or April 2nd, because then you're like, oh shit, now what do we do
Like
if
with
it falls through?
Seth and
So-
Triple H at WrestleMania a few years ago.
Exactly.
that almost
So-
WrestleMania 33.
But
Yeah.
Jeff, what
Yeah,
match?
that
to answer
almost
the
didn't
question that
happen.
better?
So
Yeah,
okay,
back
so
to the original
I'll-
question.
yeah, back to the original question. You know, you asked me time what's so good
Sorry.
about the watch. I honestly think my memory of Bradshaw versus Cena is more positive because it was John's ascension to the throne. I would have to go back and actually watch it. And actually, I do have, JJ knows, I do WrestleMania, binge every year. So when I get to 21 and 26, the day after 26, I'll let you guys know. But right now, off the top of my head, I have a more positive memory of 21 because it was JBL finally losing the title. Whereas 26,
Okay.
I can't think of anything but JJ turning his back on the match. That's
That's fair.
part of that
To me,
match. Is
I
JJ
think
turning,
that's
and
a
I wasn't even there.
I
You
think
know,
that's a
it's
perfect
interesting
analysis.
that you
So-
say that, Jeff, because all right, so WrestleMania 21 is when John Cena beat JBL.
Yeah.
Right. It was the year after John Cena
Yes, sir.
beat Big Show for the United
Right.
States Championship
2005.
Wrestling.
Noah, perfect. Noah knows exactly where I'm going. Is that not too soon, Jeff? So 1 year, 20 he goes US, 21 he goes WWE title. I mean, we did see, Hulk Hogan and Macho Man break up over the course of a year. You know what I mean? We've seen careers, expand over the course of a year. James, if you got something you want to say on this,
I do.
Was that too soon though, from the U.S. title to the WWE title?
I yes, to a degree. However, I think WWE has this habit where they kind of book shit backwards, and they even had this problem back then. This is my thing, right? Like the build that Cena and JBL ultimately ended up having, just the entire feud that they had, not even just the Mania match, but
Yeah,
the entire
Mr.
feud
Top
that they had.
1% versus the Street Thug.
I'm always convinced that should have started at the Royal Rumble. Because could you have fucking imagined the street fight, the last man standing match that JBL and Cena had, and put that on fucking Mania? How many more people would have been more receptive?
No, I can't. I can't imagine at Mania, James, only because, and again, this may be not actually be a policy, but it's my observation. They rarely get that bloodthirsty, bloodfest match at WrestleMania.
That's fair. I mean,
Yeah,
I remember
yeah.
that Judgment Day match just being fucking
That
awesome.
Judgment
so
Day
much
match,
better.
though.
100% better.
Good Lord.
You're right.
Yes,
And
JJ, and
before
Mikey, hang on,
JJ
Mikey, wait. JJ, go ahead.
I'm going to echo the sentiment and say no. And I've got a perfect example for reason why.
Go for it.
But by no means am I trying to put Cena on this level as far as a performer, but in comparison of face of company, Austin won his first IC title SummerSlam 97. Got the WWF title Mania 98.
98, yeah, true.
Yes.
Yep.
And that's a lot shorter turnover than Cena.
Yeah. And I was going to add on to that by saying that wasn't John Cena's. Oh no, it was his first ever U.S. Championship.
Yeah, it was his first.
But the thing is, John had also been built. He literally came from the ground up. He came out as they called it on the DVD and in Jericho's book, wacky roll up guy with the tights matching the town, to dressing as Vanilla Ice for Halloween, to morphing into the gimmick, to being a completely obnoxious, you want to smack this stupid kid upside his head trying to be too cool rap and heel, to organically. And that's the thing. He organically became a babyface over the course of 2003 into 2004, where by the time we hit Mania, the Garden exploded for him. Wearing a Nick's jersey or not, they wanted him atop of the Big Show. They wanted that to be a thing at WrestleMania 20. And over the course of that year, where he had the battle with Kurt Angle as general manager, where he had the battle with Booker T over the U.S. Championship, Carlito over the U.S. Championship, and our buddy Aguilera.
Jesus. Who can forget about Jesus?
Well, we try to forget about Jesus.
Forget Jesus. But anyway, continue, Jeff.
We enjoy Aaron. We try to forget about Jesus as much as possible. God bless that poor bastard.
Anyway. Matt Morgan, you poor man.
Yeah.
No. Well, Matt's a whole other conversation.
Different giant.
Whole other conversation.
Different giant.
But that's okay.
Anyway, continue.
So by the time we got, but I do agree with James saying that the build should have been at the Royal Rumble, where
would have been better. Yeah.
Again, Batista winning the Royal Rumble was a good story thread in that he ultimately decided that he's like, no, I'm going to challenge Triple H, and here's my stamp, here's my thing. But if they do it where Cena wins the Rumble and goes to face JBL, I think they could have been very creatively done where Batista still turns an Evolution, because you have to remember, back in 2005, Brian, I always say his name wrong, Gerwitz. Brian knows better than I do.
Ryan Gerwitz.
Yeah.
Ryan Gerwitz. No, would have written a masterful story between
love him on Twitter
between New Year's Revolution and WrestleMania to get Batista and Hunter to the ring together. So I think Cena winning the Rumble and having that almost 3 months would have been, like you said, a lot better. The match itself being what it was, Judgment Day versus WrestleMania, again, like I said, the blood content. You have to remember Eddie Guerrero. His definitive match of his championship reign between No Way Out and Great American Bash was that bloody battle with JBL again at Staples Center, of course.
You could actually argue Cena had that same thing. I thought he was going to die.
Same
thing. He was
buckets.
Eddie's match was more memorable, I'd say.
Eddie's match was more memorable, but Cena still bled a lot.
If you look at the overall thread of the match versus the moment, and this thing, Eddie's match was the moment. That chair shot, I can still hear that chair going off Eddie's skull, and it's been almost 20 years now. Whereas John Mayfield and John Cena just almost freaking bled each other out. It was so, I mean, there was more red on their bodies than there was on the freaking graphics for the pay-per-view. It was just obscenely bloody. And again, for me as a fan now, back then it's like, yeah, this is these guys hate each other. But I look back now and I go, that may have been a little bit extreme, but it was needed for that feud because JBL had been such a horse's ass as WWE champion. John finally beats him, and Brad's just like, well, I still got the belt. And it's like, Mother Trucker, really? All right, I'll just bludgeon your ass.
I love the visual. It's one of the most iconic shots of Cena, and this is me.
The finish is great.
I gotta give credit.
The finish is awesome. He's like, I quit. And then he still drives him through the glass pane.
That was awesome. I love the visual of Cena just pissing blood all the way down his shirt, all the way to his jorts, with the undisputed title in one hand and the spinner belt in the other. Like, Say what you want about the Spinner belt, man, but that shot's fucking iconic.
My favorite
Cena's
belt.
legacy, dude.
Now,
My
sorry,
favorite WWE title design.
It's one of those where John Cena had evolved from a trainee to a. I'll even go Noah's terminology here. He graduated from trainee to young boy at WrestleMania 21. At Judgment Day, he became a fucking man.
Yep.
Yeah, truth.
There you go.
I mean, really, because there is no more manly thing than getting yourself bludgeoned with your hated enemy. I mean, really. All right, before we transition to the next thing, somebody said the 4 words, and it had the trivia thing came out of me. So here we go. AEW had Battle of the Belts recently.
Yes.
And Noah mentioned that it was Battle of the Belts back in the old Jim Crockett NWA days, back in the day. And it wasn't even Jim Crockett, it was just NWA back in the day.
Right.
So, which famous debut within the wrestling world took place at no Googling, Mikey,
plugging in my computer.
Just messing with you, brother, because I saw you.
Mike, just plug it in your computer.
Nah, I just
You're on camera, bro.
Took place at the original Battle for the Belts within the NWA infrastructure. Anybody know?
I'm definitely not gonna guess this. No way.
I wouldn't know.
I need Greg.
You need Greg.
Can I phone a friend?
JJ? Who you got, JJ? Who you got?
No, I'm just kidding.
Dude, I thought he was gonna phone a friend.
What's the answer, Jeff?
The original?
Oh, really? The Nature
Boy! No. The original big gold belt actually debuted when Flair defended against Barry Windham at the original Battle of the Belts.
Ooh.
And personally, in my opinion, before I discovered the IWGP Heavyweight Championship version 4, the big gold belt is probably still to this day one of my all-time top 3 championships in the professional wrestling industry. You can't match that up with anything.
Absolutely. So and specifically the WCW version.
Yeah. It's funny. I've had this for almost 20 years now. The Alliance Edition, which is solid gold. There's no dual plating or whatever. I found out that the guys that are doing exclusively the NWA 10 pounds of gold replicas that the NWA actually authorized, Fendu is also doing. They also do dual plated big golds. They do like many different kinds of versions, but they
do all sorts of belts. That's actually a 5 world belts you're looking at right there.
Yeah. I was not right, and the thing is, no, it was so cool because a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, I had one of the original art designers through Creamery hook me up with somebody. I have the artwork for the Jeff Meacham in the Creamery design of the big gold.
Right.
It's just sitting here waiting to be used. So what I'm thinking I'm going to do is I'm going to have that artwork put on my Alliance Edition replica. Whenever I do, save the money for one from Fondue. They do the Creamery style on their belts, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have them do that on my Lux Edition, Deluxe, whatever the hell version they call it. So, but that's a long off goal for the future. But you mentioned the Battle of the Belts. I'm like, that's where it all started for the big gold, which is one of the belts in wrestling. So,
question for you, because I've been
Champions pay-per-view.
Somebody might actually know this, but I was always curious because I kind of studied up on the history because I watch Wrestling Bios. Shout out to him. He does research for me, and I just watch.
JJ loves those guys.
No, yeah, he's freaking great. Wrestling Bios is doing great work. But my question to you is like, what happened?
Do that,
right?
You know what I mean? Just tell all the stories that happened in wrestling, and people would actually want to watch it because they
would learn about this business and want to maybe engage in it more.
Well, I mean, all those stories we all really, Josh, we all really have those stories in our head. You know what I mean? From wrestling, from all these shows that Wrestling Bios is doing. It just takes somebody from England, you know what I mean, to be like, yo, I'm going to, all the American, everybody around the world really just wants to see all these things played out. I really liked it when Aaron would do his, You know, he did all the pay-per-views. Remember that, Jeff?
Oh, yeah.
He did like all the
yeah.
B pay-per-views and shit.
Yep.
It's gotta
I have
be
a-
something more than that, though.
It's frightening, Mikey, and I'll Dame's gonna ask a question in a second. It's really frightening. I keep saying this over and over again as we get further into the month and further into the year. This is 15 years for Talk Wrestling and 20 for us doing videos and audio on no DQ. I'm just like, God damn, I feel old. Anyway,
Bro. So yeah, no, I was gonna ask, like, with the whole, because we were talking about the big gold earlier. I was watching a video on Wrestling Bios where he was covering the Vader and Flair feud for Starrcade '94. My question: what happened between the time period where the big gold belt went from the NWA World's title to the WCW International title, and why the hell didn't the NWA decide to keep that damn belt? What the hell?
Okay, so
Like-
it's funny. One of the first things I ever wrote for themayhem.com, you remember that name? Was an article about the big gold shenanigans within the NWA and WCW. So I'll try to make it as short as possible and not keep everybody, going night-night here. So at the beginning of 91, Sting was champion. Flair beat him in Jersey, become NWA champion. At the same time, the company that had become WCW, which used to be Jim Crockett Promotions, became its own thing and recognized him as the WCW world champion. There wasn't any formal announcement or whatever. It was just, he's the world champion of this company. It was still represented by the big gold belt. Flair goes to Japan to defend against Tatsumi Fujinami at the Super Show, which was in March of 1991, right in the 20s somewhere, and Flair loses. So in Japan, it was said that Flair had lost the NWA championship, but earlier in the bout, Fujinami had tossed Flair over the top rope. So in WCW's eyes, disqualification. So Flair remained the WCW champion. So there's that part of it.
Wow.
They come back to the States. They have a rematch at Super Brawl. Flair, who had grabbed the belt from Fujinami in Japan, walked out to the ring. There was no acknowledgement on American TV of this is separate championships. Flair walked out of St. Petersburg as the world's champion. NWA, WCW, whatever. I'm sure you've heard the stories of him getting into a pissing contest with Jim Hurd, the guy promoting WCW, the vice president of WCW.
AKA the guy that is all over the place mentally. Yep.
Biggest idiot in wrestling history not named Nick Khan.
Well, that's saying something, Josh.
Yeah, let's
I don't know, man. We're going through a whole.
We'll put a pin in that one.
What about the UWF, man?
Yeah, her baby.
Oh,
again. So the thread is Flair's supposed to go into the Great American Bash to defend and drop the title to Lex Luger. They get into him and her get into it, and Flair goes, "I'll just drop it to Barry Windham in Columbus, and then he can drop it to Luger." Sometime between Flair getting off the phone with Hurd there and flying home, Hurd called and said, "Piss on you. Just you're fired, and just give Doug Dillinger the belt." And Flair's like, "I got a deposit down, so no, I keep the belt. The belt's mine." Because back in those days, going back as early as the Lou Thez days, the champion put a deposit down on the belt. That way, if he decided to do something shady or shenanigans, he could keep the belt all he wants. He basically paid for the belt with his deposit, which was $25,000 at the time Flair was champion.
Good Lord.
Yeah. So Flair thinking he dropped the title, whatever it was, 7 times, 8 times by then. He never collected on that championship. So, Doug Dillinger, who was a friend of Flair's and a shop officer, he's like, I'll go get the belt, Mr. Hurd. Yeah, right. Went there, and Flair's like, come on, Doug, and so he left. So Flair FedExed the belt to Vince, and that's why it was on TV as the real World Championship in 1991.
Right. And then
so in the process of that, when Luger became champion at the Great American Bash, so much from the short story, at the Great American Bash, they basically had an old belt that Dusty had. I want to say it was the Western States Heritage Championship. Don't quote me on that. I don't remember exactly. But they basically took a little plate that said World Champion and like freaking embedded it on the belt and go, here, give this to Lex when he wins. Okay. In the process of that, they had made that other belts. that by, I want to say the next pay-per-view was Halloween Havoc, Luger had that championship belt again, win against Ron Simmons.
Right, and Ron.
So,
right.
Ron, of course, did not win. Then
Ron didn't win. I know that.
Right. Yeah. He beat Vader for that belt a year later. But anyway, so they had this belt that's in WCW, while the big gold is still technically in Flair's possession because he still owns the belt in his eyes. So, flash forward a year, Great American Bash '92. Can tell you what city they're in. Brain block. We go to a shot. Basically, the entire show is Sting and Vader for the WCW World Title and the NWA World Tag Team Title tournament. That's the whole show. They break from a match, and at the podium is Tony Schiavone, our boy Tony, Hiro Matsuda representing the NWA and New Japan, and Cowboy Bill Watts, the EVP of WCW, with the big gold belt in his arm and the Ric Flair nameplate off the belt for the second time ever on television. So they got the belt back. WCW did. In the process of that, they decided to hold an NWA World Title Tournament in conjunction with New Japan. So I want to say it was the first G1, if I'm not mistaken, Noah, crowned Masahiro Chono as the new NWA champion with the big gold belt representing the championship.
Right, because the G1 Climax was under a different set of rules and fields back then and has been a tradition now for over 30 years. You would be correct.
So flash forward to January 4th in Japan. Oh, gee, that's a fun date. 1993. The Great Muta defeats Chono to become champion. So the NWA championship is still being defended. And so at this point in early 93, going into Super Brawl, Barry Windham challenges the Great Muta at Super Brawl, where Flair makes his return to the company after being with WWE, and Vader is champion. I think he faced Sting in that stupid White Castle of Fear, whatever the hell it was called, match.
Right.
The dumb gimmick. Anyway, continue.
Dumb gimmick WCW. Gee, what a thought.
So before Vince Russo's time.
Right.
Yes, bro.
So Barry...
Bro, you can't pin that one on me, bro.
I was inspired, bro.
That's right.
Bro, I have my resources, bro. Anyway, continue, Jeff.
The whole thing inspired me to do the stupid shit gimmicks, bro.
Love you, Virtue, but I can't stand Vince Russo.
Jeff, the title that Ron Simmons had in '91, was that the interim WCW title or something?
No, that was just full-on WCW World Title.
So when Simmons beat Vader in '92, Vader had been the dominant champion. He beat Sting at the Great American Bash, and other than Simmons winning the championship in August and dropping it in December, Vader was champion pretty much all the way through Starrcade '93, where he lost to Flair. Anyway, so '93 Super Brawl, February, Barry Windham beats the Great Muta in WCW to become NWA champion. Flair goes to put the belt around Windham, and Windham's like, what the hell? So there's friction right there. So the NWA championship as the big gold belt and the WCW championship as the Reggie Parks belt that we talked about just now, they're both in the company.
Okay, because that title looked like the TV title or something.
It kind of looked like the Lord Steven Regal era TV title. Right, exactly. So
it had a similar vibe. It wasn't quite the same, though. There's a lot of confusion though between the TV title, the NWA title, what was constituted as the
it was a mess. Title. That's why I'm asking, because I was still confused after watching the video.
You're good. So '93 goes along, Beach Blast, not yet Bash at the Beach, but Beach Blast '93. Flair again becomes NWA champion by beating Barry at the pay-per-view. So at this point, Flair's NWA champion for I think it was the either 10th or 11th time, depending on which resource you use. And Vader was the WCW champion. So there was that. We're going to get here anyway. In the meantime, Vader went off to join up with Sid as a tag team, and they were doing a feud with Sting and Davey Boy Smith in WCW, which led to the Shockmaster thing. God, let's not even go there.
Oh my lord!
We're not even here. Let's not go there.
Segment.
Pull that thread. End of show.
Helmet.
That helmet,
so bad. So anyway,
I feel so bad for him.
So Rick Rude is challenging Flair for the NWA Championship at Fall Brawl. As it does in WCW, things went sideways, and they ended up. The WCW ultimately finally pulled out of the NWA once and for all. So the NWA takes away the recognition of the title but WWE still had
and
the
since
physical
Flair
belt.
owned the title, okay, so that answers my question then.
Right. So at that point, it became, honestly, on TV they called it the World Heavyweight Championship. If you watch when Rude beats Flair, Jesse Ventura says he's the World Heavyweight Champion. So they didn't give it an official name until Halloween Havoc, in the rematch with Rude and Flair, when they said a board of directors comprised of WCW International subsidiaries, the NWA's being made a farce of, but we're calling WCW International. That was how it got the name.
So that's why it was called the WCW International title, and because Ric Flair owned the belt, NWA just had no stake, essentially. Gotcha. Okay,
basically.
That answers my question.
And then it took a whole other friggin' year to get the unification before he dropped it to Hogan, which was
right.
too.
And then of course it became the World Heavyweight Championship for WCW.
For WCW.
So, and to answer the question in the chat room,
had to drop anything to Hogan.
Well, I'm not even going there with y'all, but Hogan. Anyway,
God.
The question, what's so funny is the NWA never, that's not true, they did. Jim Crockett Promotions, promoting the NWA, always talked about George Hackenschmidt in 1905. Jim Ross, I've heard Jim Ross say 1905 about 45 times. Good
old JR.
1905.
And the thing, to quote my shirt, teespring.com, here's the thing. It can be traced back lineage-wise, but there's a definitive, hey, wait a minute moment. When Lou Thez was awarded the NWA Championship, the National Wrestling Alliance Championship in 1949, he was supposed to have a match with Orville Brown, who was the Alliance Champion. Thez had united 4 or 5 other regional world titles, including the NWA, which was the National Wrestling Association, into I'm Lou Thez, this is the championship. So it was supposed to be Brown and Thez. Brown was supposed to win. He gets in this horrific Magnum TA style car wreck and has to bow out of the match. So Lou Thez, by that thing, became the undisputed champion. Now, one of Thez's championships was the lineage going back to Hackenschmidt, Strangler Lewis, Gotch, those guys back from the 1905 up until about the 20s or 30s. So that's where it gets muddled.
Don Callis always reference back to those particular names too whenever he talks about Kenny. By God, Meg.
Which is so weird to hear.
And again,
nowadays.
You can't really claim the actual connection from. Let's see if I can. From this thing all the way back to then, but there is a definite, kind of like the big gold belt in WWE was the successor to the WCW Championship, same type of thing.
Trevor Murdoch ever got that title, Jeff?
No.
I'm sorry?
Did Trevor Murdoch drop that title?
Not yet.
Not yet.
He's still the champion, but as we've seen now, Matt Cardona has laid eyes on the 10 pounds of gold.
Yes, please.
Please.
That'd be cool.
One of my favorite WrestleMania moments was Cardona winning the
Intercontinental
tag
title with Zack Ryder.
WrestleMania 32.
No, not that
I predicted him to win that.
No.
And
I still can't believe they gave him that moment. I still can't believe that happened.
By the way,
I just feel bad for Aaron's hair.
That moment.
This is why you bet money. You don't bet your own hair.
For the record,
I would bet my own hair on anything.
Speaking of hair, speaking of manias, by the way, Psycho Jet Black asked,
yes, I wanted to get
better WrestleMania, 31 or 35? Hate to say it, brother, but 31.
What was
35 for me just because Shane McMahon had a match.
Was it Shane versus The Undertaker?
No, this is Shane versus The Miz. And I'm a big Miz guy and a big Shane McMahon guy. This is a Falls Count Anywhere match.
Misfit from day one, baby.
WrestleMania 31 had the iconic Seth Rollins moment. Also, Seth Rollins and Randy Orton. What did
awesome
35 have in the main event?
Awesome.
Rousey, Becky Lynch,
Intercontinental
Charlotte
title
Flair.
ladder match.
Winner takes all.
So 31 and 35 have a familial connection with main event because who walked out at the end of the night? Seth Rollins and
Becky Lynch. Fuck.
And hey, WrestleMania 35 had Kofi Mania which got me 2 Virtue shirts.
All right, Josh. So it's WrestleMania 31 that's better then.
Yeah, exactly. I'm with you. I'm with you, Mikey. I'm with you.
I say WrestleMania.
Bro.
I only say WrestleMania 31 is better because Aaron got home safe by his own travel. 35, people are still waiting for that train station to go home.
Dude,
Like right now.
It was the longest WrestleMania to date. 7 hours people were sitting there. Are you kidding me?
I was with my friend
I remember.
That is why it is now 2 nights.
I want to get my money's worth, damn it.
No,
Did you get your money's worth that whole night?
No.
You saw people were sleeping half the time.
Bro, it was bad. It was bad. I saw the freaking video clips. It's so bad. Here's another thing, too. Johnny and I was in New York for this. I was in New York for G1 Supercard and NXT TakeOver. We almost went to Mania. We almost went,
right?
And I had a sinking gut feeling I shouldn't go. I should not go to this.
And are you glad you didn't go now?
Oh, yeah, I am. Dude, could you imagine not informing the Transportation of Authority of New York that we're going lawn, and that therefore leaving people stranded for hours in the freezing
They
rain
didn't end
in
till
New
past
Jersey?
midnight.
Fuck sake. What
God,
are
that
you
was bad.
doing?
That was
So
ridiculous.
Doing,
So-
bro.
So thankfully, we have 2 night WrestleManias now.
Yeah, no
Unfortunately,
shit.
well, here's the thing. Again, it goes to quality and quantity. Would I say that both nights are like worth watching equally to each other so far during this time we've had 2 span WrestleManias? Not necessarily. I've definitely liked one night more
if
than
you're
the
gonna
other.
do it even just out of
Pandemic,
quantity's
though,
sake,
Noah.
at least
Yeah.
make it 2 nights. At least make it 2 nights, because then it's just better for everybody.
Yeah, it's like Coachella. All these big events are doing this nowadays, Jeff.
you have to.
You know what I
Especially
mean?
You have
now
to.
with 2
You have to.
Rumbles now.
Coachella's doing 2 weekends.
Yeah,
I
that's
know.
what
Yeah,
it used to
Coachella's
be.
bloody insane.
3
Okay.
nights, right?
Like it used to be a 3-night gig. Now it's 2 weekends.
Yeah, you know
And they
more
still
about
have more
that than
people
me,
than
Jeff.
ever going to that thing. But to answer,
So-
yeah, I agree. At 31.
The only reason, and again, you guys mentioned the whole Zack Ryder thing at 32. I despise the pay-per-view because of that, and because of having to. And again, we all love Webmaster Wade. He's our boy, but having to sit in that poor man's
Wade Needham.
house and watch that shit show, and then have to do a post show with Aaron having to be off camera because he was so embarrassed at the head shaving we gave him in the living room initially before we actually got him head properly shaved at the barber the next day. It was just a train wreck of a day. It was awful. It was awful. And you know what? I wouldn't have minded so much that Matt Cardona had become the champion if he had dropped it to friggin' Miz the next night and completely negated any reason for Aaron and I have it. Aaron and I
that was the
literally.
plan.
I get that. I get that. And it's
That was
a
a
fucked up
horrible
plan on WWE's part because
I
I
agree.
am convinced after that show that they watched No DQ because we went to the barber, we got lunch, we came back, we watched Raw, and there it was, and we're like,
Very weird.
Oh, like remember when before this past Mania when we were saying, please don't send Hogan out there first. Let McIntyre's be the first thing. And you guys said that on
God.
UDQ.
yeah,
They-
Tyson listens, so we
Yep.
need to shut up.
Yeah.
yeah,
See,
we
That was
WrestleMania
yeah.
32, I like because it was my first time watching Mania live.
oh,
That was
Fair
my
enough.
first live Mania.
Okay, I can respect that.
So again, Cardona, I was always a big Ryder fan. So his moment there, my friend Tyler will tell you, I nearly jumped through his roof. With how excited I got. And
let me just
Taker's
say-
my goat, and I love
There-
Shane. So that
there you
Hell in
go.
a Cell match.
and
All right,
so
well.
a couple points I want to bring up, and then we'll start to dial it down here a little bit. First thing I want to say, as far as the wait from the train, James, I can only relate to that because I told the story on the air a couple times now. But when Dad and I went on the Jericho cruise, we got through no problem. The COVID testing, whatever. We had people back there for almost 7 hours because of lack of labor on the people doing the testing. So, how do you not prepare for that? Yeah. Well, the thing is, Noah, you're in business. When you sign a contract and you contract somebody for 8 hours, at 8 hours and 1 second, they're done.
Yep, that's true. As soon as it's
And
clock out time,
Not,
I'm on.
and
I
not
got my
everybody
money.
was done being tested, and not everybody was done being tested in that 8 hour time frame. So yeah, it was ugly.
They didn't consider
ugly.
how many people were actually going to be on the ship versus how many people they needed to get them on the ship.
Well, the thing is, and again, I have to commend whoever it was, Six Man or CVS or the combination of the two. They got the talent through right away. By the grace of God, Dad and I were like not in the talent pool because I ain't that fucking fancy, but we were like right behind that group. So we went in there. Like I said, I was on my balcony having a fucking drink at 3 o'clock, and said, "What's going on down there?" I'm like, "I'm having a drink. What's going on with you?" Like, no idea what's happening. So as far as that goes, I do want to ask the room, because JJ brought this up with me. I think it was you, JJ. If not, I apologize. So this thing here, right now, Trevor Murdoch's the champion. And we're talking about Matt Cardona being the perennial challenger right now because of his presence within the NWA. Is that a problem? And I say that because to the casual fan coming back into wrestling, like JJ is doing at the moment, of the WWE, wait, who's the champion? The guy that looks like Dick Murdoch that was a tag team mid-carder in 2003? Wait, who's his challenger? The guy that couldn't get anything past the Internet Championship? Wait, what? Why am I watching this? Is that a problem for the? Is that a perception problem for the NWA right
now? Jeff, let me start it off because I've been feeling the same way when I see like Mike Knox show up to their tapings. I'm like, damn. I'm like, what's going on with these guys? But honestly,
how about Murphy? How about fucking Murphy from TNA out of nowhere just showing up? Why? The dude still can't go.
Why not sign Murphy from the WWE? Something fresh.
Right.
You know what I mean? But yeah, with Matt Cardona coming in, I mean, that's interesting to me.
That's legitimacy.
I would like to see a little Matt Cardona versus Magnus. What's up, Jeff?
Okay, but here's my counterpoint to that. We talk about the Russo audience versus the casual audience. Not every single wrestling fan is right here.
True.
A lot of people don't know Matt Cardona, Zack Ryder. A lot of people don't know Mike Knox. My memory of Mike Knox is him stopping Barbie Blank from stripping, which he should be committed to a asylum for that sin. You son of a bitch. Anyway,
no comment.
Yeah, I got nothing. I'm not saying anything.
I'm trying to be good.
I believe they have a YouTube show right now. I believe, I think they have a YouTube
he does.
show.
Him and Brian have YouTube. But again, outside of the quote unquote internet bubble,
show, right?
Well, Power is now on Fight. So, and that's the other thing. Okay. Other than WWE, AEW, and Impact Wrestling, none of these major companies have a terrestrial television contract. Is that a problem in today's day and age, or is everybody, fast forwarded with the Russo era? JJ, you had something to say there.
I feel like it's a double-edged sword here because is it an image perception problem? Yeah, because these guys were lower mid-carders, and now they're being given arguably the most prestigious championship in wrestling history.
Yep.
However, on the casual fan side, I know who Zack Ryder is. I know who Trevor Murdoch is. I'm more likely to watch a product with names that I know than I am to tune into a product with the names that I don't know. Oh, Mickie James is in charge of the women's division over here. I know who she is.
Who doesn't know who Mickie James is, though? Let's just be honest here.
Well, but
that's what I'm saying, though, is like I've been so far removed from Impact, just as an example.
Mm-hmm. Which
I don't really know who's who over there anymore.
Because
you guys could sit here and you could rattle off some names, and maybe I'll go, "Oh, I know that guy. I know that guy.
I know that one.
I know Willie Mack is over there, and that's another one. That's one of me and Jeff's boys who we saw. Dude used to walk from his home in Compton, California, to the arena in Anaheim, where Johnny, and may he rest his soul, had Friday night fight nights to try to get on that card. So it's one of those guys that we literally saw come from nothing to now he's a former X Division
slept
champion.
In our home. Legit slept in our home more
Went
than
to
once.
Disneyland with us. We have pictures with him and our group at Disneyland.
That's awesome.
That was one of our boys. But
we love Willie. We do.
Aside from that, who I know is there, like you could list off maybe 10 guys from Impact, and maybe I'd know one or two.
Well, again,
whereas
Mickey
here's the NWA champion. I know who that guy is.
Right.
He may not be somebody that I followed, that I cared for, that I even liked in the ring, but I know who it is.
You recognize it,
You mean
and that
Magnus?
makes you more so
Exactly.
kind of
No,
like
Trevor Murdoch.
or
Okay.
drawn
That
to
could have
see,
fit for Magnus
okay,
too.
where's this thing going? You know, because you recognize the
Nick
name.
Aldis is not
Yeah.
champion right now. Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
that's
Nick
one of the
dropped it to
things
Trevor
where I
at
feel like
NWA 73, so.
AEW
Yes.
is thriving as well for the casual fan, because they're nailing a bunch of these WWE signings, but they've also oversaturated their workplace.
Absolutely, yeah.
Let me.
I will say,
and again,
So a
Go,
casual fan, it's like, oh, they've got, all these
Insert
WWE
name
guys.
here.
I know who these are.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Like I'll agree with JJ big time. Like again, I didn't start watching wrestling till I was in full time watching wrestling. And so I was in middle school in 2010. So Trevor Murdoch, my only exposure was
Okay, Josh, I'll get the dentist tomorrow. Quit making me old, okay? Seriously.
I'm almost a decade older than you, fat man. Shut up.
Thank
Wait,
you,
does-
JJ.
Wait,
Jeff,
wait,
I
does-
love you, buddy.
Yo,
But-
wait, does that make me young
7
fat
years,
J Heebs
7
over here?
Yeah.
Jeff, I
Bro,
love
you
you,
look
buddy.
like you're 28.
I
The
know
only
you do. I know
exposure
you do.
I have to Trevor Murdoch
26, close.
was the SmackDown
I was
vs.
gonna
Raw
say
2009 video game. That's the only exposure
Oh,
to wrestling of
jeez.
Trevor Murdoch I have. So
Oh, yeah,
all
no, I
remember
get you.
him as
Same
from
here,
video
same
games.
here.
Yeah, that's true.
Cardona,
Murdoch,
my-
earlier
with Lance
2000s.
Cage,
I remember
right?
when we were all pushing big for him, to get that spot, to get the U.S. title from Ziggler, before Vince was like, okay, we gave you your thing, time to push you back down the card. So I would say Cardona is 10 times the star Trevor Murdoch is, just because he had that backing behind him. So
Yes.
in my opinion,
You get it.
Yes.
Cardona would give more oomph
Exposure.
to the NWA title than Murdoch would. And with you saying about
see-
Impact, when I first started watching TNA, around March, April, later in 2010, I think the first episode I remember watching was when RVD beat AJ Styles for the title. I turned on and I saw Hogan, I saw Jeff Hardy, I saw RVD, I saw these people who I knew. So that's why I tuned in for the people I knew. And then got into AJ Styles, etc. But
And see, if you're
yeah,
a casual fan
nowadays,
coming
I look
in
at
from when
Impact
you
and I don't know
started,
anyone. Yeah,
right.
but
If
then
you're a casual fan coming back from when you started watching Josh,
Yeah.
if you're a casual fan coming back from when you started watching Josh, or when when you turned away, Zack Ryder was still at least here's Zack Ryder. He's still doing our thing
You
here on
at least
WWE
knew
television.
he existed. You at least knew he was there.
Yeah.
But
Whereas
he was also on
Murdoch was
YouTube.
already a thing of the
He was on YouTube,
Right,
yeah.
doing
He
his
was
thing.
doing crazy
whereas
hundreds of thousands of views.
in 2010, let's say, Murdoch was already off WWE television, probably already out of the company. Nick Aldis, Magnus was maybe British Invasion at that point. I don't even think he was there doing that yet. I could be wrong.
I'm
Could be
not
wrong.
sure exactly about
and-
that.
And before that, so let's see, before that would have been
Dumbass.
Cody. Cody in 2010 was in Legacy, so he's identifiable by WWE casual fans. He was one of Randy's boys. Cool. Anybody before that, the next person before that with legit name recognition, NWA wise, champion wise, Rob in this country, Rob Conway. Yep,
Right.
I said it out loud.
Yeah, no, true.
You're
Absolutely.
not wrong.
The
Quick
third
thing.
member of La
You're not wrong.
Resistance.
You guys are all going to hate me for this, and I'm a
Good
dumbass.
points, Jeff.
Yeah,
I
we're
just
not gonna
realized
judge
and
you.
remembered Nick Aldis is Magnus. I forgot that's who.
Dude, I don't
There's
blame you.
no-
They're
Dude,
two different
Dude,
people.
he
bro.
wasn't
Forgettable,
Magnus until he
Josh.
was in TNA, to be fair. You're all right.
He was the
Yeah.
champion too.
And
Noah.
honestly, the person that was the TNA / Impact World Heavyweight Champion is leaps and bounds below
Yeah.
where Nick Aldis has become.
Exactly.
Magnus was another
or
muscle-bound grunt that happened to have an accent that was trained by Doug Williams. And God bless Doug Williams for keeping it alive over there on that part of the world. But, you know, other than that, my vivid memory of Magnus as champion is he became Dixie's boy who exiled AJ for good, which how do you exile Mr. TNA? How do you actually flip and let that be a thing? How do you let that happen?
What they did, Jeff.
And for me, Magnus always had the shit stain on him for that. But when he became
it gave a really bad perception. It didn't make him look like that, like big heel that could overcome anybody. It actually gave negative reprieve in the audience because AJ Styles was the face of TNA pretty much during his whole time that he was there. And again, I mean, Josh, JJ, both respectively gave perfect points towards the whole idealism when it comes to the people you see anywhere, especially when it comes to a championship picture. I mean, who would have thought you would see Trevor Murdoch, Matt Cardona in the same sentence related to a prestigious top-tier championship in professional wrestling?
Well, I can't remember what it was, but Jeff, didn't they give Trevor Murdoch a bit of a singles run? Didn't they try something out with him?
Yeah, they tried a singing gimmick out with him.
It was super duper like abbreviated brief, like not even abbreviated. Like it was a brief. That was it. That was all.
It was
and honestly,
a speck in time.
And honestly, I maintain to this day that there are three, if you want to really divide it up, 3 reasons why Trevor's champion now. Harley trained him.
Yep.
He's got the Dickie Murdoch look and the Dusty Rhodes babyface appeal. The people love that dude.
That would do it.
So that's why.
And St. Louis, he did in his hometown, St. Louis too. They literally made Trevor Murdoch the guy going through 5 times trying to take out a Ric Flair type in his feud.
That's fair.
One quick thing.
And at the end of that pay-per-view, hang on, I'm sorry, Josh. At the end of that pay-per-view, who was one of the first to shake his hand and endorse him? The NWA's greatest champion. Ric Flair was right there to shake the hand, brother. I mean, you can't ask for a bigger endorsement from the NWA than Ric Flair shaking your hand in St. Louis at the Chase. You can't.
Yeah,
with
fair.
The championship, I might add, with you literally
winning
being the champion.
Yeah. I have to say though, I do feel as if, as much as Trevor Murdoch winning the belt was like great for him and all that, I really think this should be short term, and I feel like they're at a risk of it being too long. So the sooner they get the belt on Cardona, the better, because for a couple of reasons here. Number one, Cardona, yes, has that casual audience like right there, and everybody's going to immediately recognize him. They're going to immediately recognize that was Zack Ryder. They're going to immediately recognize that, oh, this guy's the NWA World Champion. Maybe I'll go check this product out. Fair enough, right?
Yep.
On the hardcore fan base as well. On the hardcore fan base as well, he's having the run of his life in GCW right now as the top heel in that promotion.
Oh, really?
And I bet they could do the exact same thing in the NWA, and Impact should also follow suit if they plan on keeping him around.
So he's
ECW TV
I would is a brilliant businessman.
Yeah.
And he knows what to do to make that money.
Yeah, big time.
I would dare say Matt Cardona's presence in GCW and that little bitty rub they got from Double J, El Kabonging, whatever the hell it was, on their last show.
When Mick Foley said, fuck Matt Cardona, that's all you needed. That was awesome.
Exactly.
Right?
That was awesome.
And the thing is, we said at the top of the show, they're in the Hammerstein Ballroom. Like, holy mother of God. If you're a hardcore wrestling fan, the Hammerstein's the freaking place in this country. Seriously.
He has
it's one of
ECW television title in GCW from fucking Rhino.
Oh, yeah.
And then he pulled a Medusa and threw it in a trash can.
Dude, awesome.
The thing, if you want to see Cardona heel, him on Twitter saying, WWE was my developmental.
That was the sentence right there that cinched it for me. That was the sentence.
That was great.
That was so beyond brilliant.
So a couple of comments in the moment. I'm sorry, Josh.
You're good.
Mustafa Ali.
Okay, that's good.
Ooh,
So first of all,
interesting.
Psycho Dead Buck says, Okay. So Mustafa Ali has been in the news all day about this release thing.
I feel bad for him. He's gotten screwed
the thing
so
is,
many times.
I agree.
Well, the thing is,
another guy that got
saying
the
it right
shaft.
now. Well, here's my point. Mustafa Ali right now, I can't see him being the NWA contender guy or the champion.
No
guy
way.
Because
no, he's X Division right now.
He's still got that WWE. He's still got the WWE stink on him, right? He does. I'm just saying. So if he were
Jeff,
to go,
I could see Mustafa Ali
take the release for
involving freaking junior heavyweight NWA title contention, since they're bringing that title back with this tournament. With the
junior,
NWA
actually, no, that's a fair shout. Actually, that's
I feel bad for Mustafa Ali. He got injured and got taken off a gauntlet match, which Kofi's push should have been his. He was going to win Money in the Bank then. I'm
that is the man who believes
and
in
then the Hacker storyline was supposed to be his.
Dude.
And then they pulled this stupid retribution bullshit.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Okay,
agreed, bro.
okay. A couple arguments there. I like Ali. He's a great athlete. He could be a great character on TV. There is no fucking way he would have been the number one contender at WrestleMania.
Oh no, I'm not saying that.
It wouldn't have happened. It wouldn't have happened. There's no way.
I'm not saying that.
Not with the way they were booking him. Nope, not at all.
And I personally feel bad and apologize to Mustafa Ali because I was at Fastlane 2019 when he was in that triple threat match.
Same.
No one in that crowd wanted him there.
They booed him as soon as the music hit.
Cheering for Kofi the entire match. I admit that. I did not pay 1 ounce of attention to that triple threat match. I was chanting for Kofi the entire time. And Mustafa Ali, if you ever see this, I apologize. You are a tremendous athlete. I'm sorry this crap is happening to you.
I will say, I feel like Mustafa was pushed way too soon anyway. And they shouldn't have put him in that spot to begin with. Wait, was it? Is it 2 in the morning?
It should have.
It is 2 in the morning.
I got the word wrap me up here. So
fair.
What I'm saying is, Mustafa, again, whether he would have won that gauntlet, whether he would have been in that match or not, there is no way he would have got the push. Kofi got the push because it's Kofi, number one.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Anyway, so to answer that comment, I can't imagine it right now. Get him his release, get him the 90 days, get him in the Indies, do the GCW thing. Maybe. Now, I want to bring up real quick here, and we'll try to do this as quickly as possible. Psycho Jetbox kind of like a fantasy all champions match.
Worlds collide.
No, help me out. No, help me out here for the name.
Trevor Murdoch versus Shingo Takagi versus Heyman Page versus Moose. You got NWA versus NJPW versus AEW versus Impact.
Hangman Page.
I got no horse in this.
That's a hell of a forward WrestleMania for me. I'm okay with it.
I mean, you look at the 4 men here. You look at the perception. You look at who you think would win it or should win it. I look at all 4 of these incredible athletes, great champions in their own right. I would have to go with Heyman and Page right now in this form.
Yeah, Page by far. I mean, close second is probably Moose, to be honest.
Well, here's the thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Hi, Jeff. Here's the thing. Shingo Takagi, former IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, hell of a match with Okada. I would not count him out in anything.
Yeah,
but
James.
Right now, when you look at
I think Takagi would kick Moose's ass.
One at a time. One at a time, guys. One at a time.
Sorry about that, Noah.
One at a time.
No, you're good. I was just saying, Shingo Takagi, I could honestly see him probably beating any of these 3 men in one-on-one contests, but perception is key. And right now, I look at these 4 men. Who's the biggest star of all 4? I gotta go with Heyman and Page.
Yeah, for sure. I get that. Yep, totally get that.
So Mikey's gonna close us out here. Mikey, Stepway Mike, I should say, not Mikey, because you got Mikey here. But Stepway says, congrats on the premiere of the show. I would love to see this group tomorrow in the sports bar. Mikey, the only problem with that is no one doesn't watch sports. JJ's on the way because he's a brother.
I'm a casual.
James is a casual sports guy. We can get Mr. Mansfield in there. Where are you at on the sports talk? You want me in the sports bar tomorrow?
Sure. Because you Cowboys, you ain't them boys.
Oh God.
Josh, I'm only gonna say this once. As a guy who's not in sports, In the name of my best friend Vaughn, don't be dissing the Cowboys.
Hey, my
Exactly.
the owners of the 49ers.
Read the name of the marquee, Josh. Read the name of the marquee.
I had to root for the Niners yesterday.
I know.
I'm not.
I was
you
just
know what?
explaining to Noah.
But anyway,
All
that'll be
right.
tomorrow again. Yes. So first time you see me tomorrow, we'll be in the sports bar, and Mikey's telling me there's some sort of surprise plan, which always scares me, the stat boy. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what he has planned for me. I'm a little scared. I'm not gonna lie. But also Zach will be there, or it's Zach. It's Cody Raines here on YouTube, but it's Zach. He'll be there as well. So it's going to be a packed house, which Mikey seems to like on the sport bar. He likes the panel format, so we're going to go with that. And whatever we didn't talk about in this little collage here tonight, we'll get into tomorrow. So that's coming up, which we covered everything. Awesome. I had nothing to do tomorrow. Woohoo! Okay. I have no show tomorrow. Shit.
I'll try not to call.
Anyway,
try not to call.
Thank you guys very much.
No, thank you, Jeff.
No, you know what? I don't mind if you do. Just again, the whiskey's way over there. I'm not gonna get up and go get it today. Tomorrow.
Yeah. Different story.
Anyway.
Well, yeah.
So thank you to Alistair, who tried his best to get on. God bless him. He tried so hard. Thank you, Mikey T. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, JJ, of course, for being here. And these two guys, thank you for waiting for a month for me to get my shit together. And JJ also as an audience member for getting this everybody for getting my shit together audience-wise. But you two guys especially, you waited a month and we delivered. This is 2.5 hours was way more than I thought we were gonna go. I love this shit. This is great. So
this is awesome.
The plan will be
I love it.
So the plan will be on the Fridays where there's not a dad's episode, at least for now, until JJ relaunches the channel, and then we'll reconfigure the schedule. But the Fridays where there's not dads, at 8 o'clock Pacific, 11 o'clock Eastern, we're off and running. So look for us.
So not this Friday,
but
a
next
week from
Friday.
Friday.
Right, same bat time, same bat channel, but different day. So it actually be the night before the Royal Rumble. There we go. So you'll have Rumble predictions with us.
It is
Probably
the night before the Royal Rumble.
And thank God you guys brought back dads.
I hate that.
So honestly,
bad,
if you don't mind staying up late for pre-Royal Rumble, you can pregame with us, kids. So there you go.
I will
Thank you all very much for watching.
that one.
Oh,
Love
yeah,
it,
we
brother.
should do
All
a
right, guys.
Royal Rumble watch along like this. I don't really know.
Don't
Well,
worry,
we're gonna
I'll be
have
back.
it-
The unofficial
we're gonna-
voice of the Jeff Meacham Network is going to pull a crossing the border, and I will be back with play-by-play commentary for the Royal Rumble as a whole.
Fuck it. I'll join too. Why not? Here
Yeah,
we go.
let's
do it.
I'm
Let's
doing
go.
it. I'm
There we
doing
go.
it. I'm doing it. I'm doing
I
it.
wouldn't mind watching
Honestly-
the Rumble with you guys.
As long as you guys come along, as long as I have you two for the big five, I'm good on the other 40,000 shows they do a year. I mean, really.
Fair enough.
Gentlemen, it's
I
been a
might
pleasure.
Bobby
Thank you all
Heenan
for-
this. I might Bobby Heenan this. Just fair warning. I'm probably gonna shit whenever I can.
I'm actually okay that way. I don't have to worry about picking up that slack. I appreciate that.
Go.
Hopefully, I'll be
Blast
watching it
you,
live.
Yeah,
Alright,
please. Yeah, invite your friends. Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you guys tomorrow on the sports bar. Talk wrestling, of course, tomorrow night after NXT. Greg Cherry show this week. Adam Contras, our boy, the man with the DeLorean's back on. We'll see him Thursday, and of course, Dad's on Friday. Have a good night, and we'll see you guys next time right here on the Jeff Meacham Network. If I can get